The following is a production of Hometown and Home Country Radio Sports.
Hardline drive by Garrigan, one hop to second base, and it gets through! It gets through into right field. Garrigan takes the lead. Trainer scores. Here comes Helisef. 3-1 Golden Bears. Thompson stealing. First is going to throw through. It's a great throw, and they got him at second base. Tate First does it again. 2-2 pitch. Schwab ground ball up the middle, and that one's going to sneak through into center field for a base hit. Here comes Furch. 5-2 Bishop Garrigan. Bags are full. Lappy winds. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike three. The Golden Bears hang on in Forest City.
Video streaming on the Algona Radio YouTube channel is brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities, community owned for community benefit. Kemna Auto Center, where it's not just about the car, it's about the care. Iowa State Bank, helping people succeed. PMC Advantage Insurance Services, having the advantage makes all the difference. And Algona Frame and Auto Body, we meet by accident. Now, here's Hometown and Home Country Radio Sports Director, Tyler Lance.
Who hasn't at some point dreamed of what it would be like to be a professional athlete, to step up to the plate in Game 7 of the World Series, game tied, bases loaded, 3-2 count. We've all had dreams like this at some point along the lines, and today, the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and Clarion-Goldfield-Dows Cowboys will get to live a small part of that dream, playing a high school baseball game at a major league field. Good afternoon, everyone. We are live at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Twins game has wrapped up, and that means we are probably somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes away from high school baseball action between the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and Clarion-Goldfield-Dows Cowboys, two former NCC rivals. But first, what a great opportunity it is for these young men. A once-in-a-lifetime experience. Of course, actually making it to the major leagues, that is over a 1 in a million shot for all of us. But today, they'll get to sit inside the same dugouts that major league players from the Texas Rangers and Minnesota Twins occupied earlier on today. They'll get to run the same 90 feet to first base that players like Royce Lewis, Josh Young, and more played at this very same field earlier today. And of course, what an opportunity, like we said. The same target field grass the Minnesota Twins occupy for half of the regular season will be occupied today by the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and Clarion-Goldfield-Dows Cowboys. So certainly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for these two schools, and it's just great that it got to all come together today for it to happen. It is a cloudy and it's a smoggy day here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A very hazy sky outside. In fact, we had a little bit of a drizzle towards the tail end of the Twins game this afternoon, but the drizzle has stopped for now, and we'll have to just wait and see what the forecast looks like. It's a little questionable going forward, but we can all keep our fingers crossed and hope that the rain stays to the north of us here in Minneapolis, because we have a game to play here today between Bishop Garrigan, who has a 6-4 overall record, and Clarion-Goldfield-Dows, who comes in 6-9 overall on the season. So one thing to note about today's game, once it gets underway, there will be a 2-hour time limit, so this won't necessarily be a full 7 innings if it takes longer than 2 hours. So once we're at 2 hours, that is when the game will end, but certainly 2 hours that these players in the field will absolutely never forget. Well, enough of me. Let's get to Bishop Garrigan baseball coach Rob Meister. We caught up with him earlier this week to talk about this game and more of the Golden Bear program. Here's Coach Meister on Hometown Radio KLGA and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream. And we're joined right now by Bishop Garrigan baseball coach Rob Meister here to talk Golden Bear baseball. Coach, first of all, thank you so much for stopping by here and giving us a few minutes, because obviously a big week's coming up for the Golden Bears, and you're just wrapping up a big week as well. I want to start off here by kind of looking back over the past, we'll call it long weekend. We're talking here on Tuesday. You guys had a big weekend as you beat North Union Friday night, played at the CYO tournament on Saturday, going 1-1 there, and then went over North Iowa on Monday night. So let's just kind of go for this long weekend for the Golden Bears and some of the big takeaways from that past weekend.
Yeah, Friday was a big win versus North Union, because we had just come off of a tough loss against Garner on Wednesday, got rained out Thursday. So we needed kind of a jump start, and Tate grabbed the ball again and pitched well for us. You know, as a kid that was our number one catcher last year after missing most of his freshman year with a broken arm, and then for him to develop as a pitcher has been kind of I wouldn't say a surprise, but a nice thing to see. He put a lot of time in, so that was a really good game on Friday, and we produced just enough to get that win. And then on Saturday, we had Danny go against Galen, perennial, a very good program. And he's been a little inconsistent. He would be the first to admit that. You know, strikeout totals are still pretty good, but the walk totals are not where we want him to be yet. He's not giving up very mmany hits, which kind of our staff as a whole, we've done a pretty good job with that. And, we held on to win that game. And then game 2 against Heelan, Brady gave us 5 really good innings, only gave up 2 hits. Only struck out a couple of guys, I believe 3 or 4. Walks, not too bad there. And then our relief, we ran out of pitching, and Heelan's perennially a very good program. So for us to go toe-to-toe with them 2-1 through 5 innings is kind of a testament to our kids. We had the tying run at third base there when they struck us out to end that inning. And then last night, we scored 3 runs in 3 innings, the 1st, the 5th, and the 7th last night. And the top of the order, the bats are coming. We just got to find some more consistency. And, some of it's hard, as we're working with inexperienced kids. And if it's a natural part of your personality to kind of be aggressive, sometimes you're swinging at too many balls. If it's more of your inclination as a hitter or your personality to be more passive, sometimes you're taking too many pitches. So for us to kind of balance those kids out a little bit and get them to understand, sometimes when you face good pitching, they're going to be in the zone. And unfortunately, when you see other guys taking pitches that are borderline and they get called a ball, now when I step in there, I expect that same thing without necessarily having a good feeling of the strike zone from the side as opposed to being in the batter's box. So, we're working through those things. We're hoping to get some more consistent offense going forward here.
Well, there's a lot to unpack about what's happened so far this season, and I want to start where a lot of different things start, and that's with the pitching. Of course, going into the season, we kind of knew what we had with Dan Meister, but the question is, the guys behind him, how are they going to look? Tate Furch has really just been outstanding this season. 3 wins on the mound for you guys, an excellent ERA up to this point. Really, he's been in control of the game when he's pitched. So what do you kind of attribute Tate's improvement from last year to this year on the mound to?
Well, I would say one of the things that we've battled over the years is, can a catcher be a pitcher? And we've had enough guys go through our program that just want to be catchers. And Garrett Hine just wanted to be a catcher. And then finally his senior year, he kind of dialed things in and figured it out, and he threw excellent for us. Tate, I think, has always had kind of the pitching mentality, but then not getting able to throw as a freshman definitely set him back a little bit. And then last summer at times when we did pitch him, very inconsistent. And I would say the testament to him has just been the work ethic in workouts. Right now he's got 33 strikeouts in the 20 innings that he's thrown for us and only 8 walks. So for him to pound the zone the way he has confidence in every pitch, which again you need. If you're not going off your fastball, though, that's going to be hard, but he has confidence in every pitch, and he's there. He's been dealing. And I think now he has the mentality that I am a pitcher. And sometimes, like I said before, we've battled kids that maybe I'm just a catcher and coach is asking me to pitch some, as opposed to I am a catcher this night, but now I am also a pitcher. So, and it's tough on your kid's arm. You have to be able to take care of yourself. You have to be able to do, some preventative stuff. You have to do some post-game stuff. You have to be willing to do a little bit of running, icing, all that kind of stuff to come back. We gave him the night off last night. He played first base, so he didn't have to throw any balls back to the pitcher, anything like that. So anything that we can do, and now we're well set.
Well, the other question I had about pitching that I wanted to bring up is, you look at this past weekend, you got a really good outing against a 3A state-ranked Heelan team from Brady Garrigan. You got a nice outing on Monday night from Carter Schwab against North Iowa. So it seems like the pitching depth is really starting to round out for you guys. What's that level of comfort right now for a guy like Garrigan or a guy like Schwab throwing when you need a big conference winner, you just need some good innings?
Well, definitely, and it starts at the top. I think any good staff like that or any good team is kids feed off of each other a little bit. And either, you see what the other guy's doing and you want to rise up, or you see where you've been and now you've had a little bit of success. I mean, Brady pitched pretty good against Algona that first night over there. We didn't have Tate because of state track, but I think Brady pitched a really good game that night and gave himself some confidence against the lineup. Obviously, we've seen what Algona's been scoring for runs against the lineup that has been scoring double digits lots of nights. So, and Carter, he threw some last year as a sophomore for us, and again, he's been a work in motion, and he's got the mentality of a kid that wants to compete. And anytime you have that as part of your makeup as a pitcher, that helps. So we have 4 really good pitchers at the top that we can hand the ball to. We're still working on some other ones. Our JV guys have been working a little bit, some inconsistencies. But we have a lot of guys get down to the bullpen, just keep putting time in. That's what we encourage, and find a grip. If you're not getting a pitch to break the way you want, then change your grip a little bit. Maybe it's your arm slot. The mechanics to this point, you're just cleaning up that we've been working on March, April, and May. But now it's just a matter of getting down and trying to master that pitch a little bit better, and talking to some of your teammates. That's one thing that I've, tried to cherish over the years of really, loving Bishop Garrigan, but loving the game of baseball and learning from my dad. And what can players teach each other? What can you learn from the guy before you? We've had Austin Vasky, a kid that graduated in 2012, come back and talk to kids about pitching. We've had other kids over the years. We've had a Reese Wadley and Andrew Miller, and just, for them to come back and to give some of their testament to kids. Drew Lappy, that's on the staff right now, for him to be able to talk to kids and just say, this is what I did, and this is how I threw that pitch. I think those things are very important for younger kids to look up to, because as we always tell them, this is your time to write your chapter, but we expect your imprint to be on our program long after you graduate.
Well, Coach, shifting gears here a little bit, earlier in this interview you talked about the lineup, and the word you said was consistency, and I think that describes it so far. The lineup necessarily hasn't been as consistent 1 through 9 as you'd want it to be. So as you move forward, what are some aspects of the lineup or things that you're looking at to see improve as you try to get that consistency moving forward?
The number one negative as a baseball coach, we got to get rid of strikeouts, and we've got to put balls in play. We've had 2 games of 17 strikeouts. That is an astronomical number that I don't care to repeat again. But we just have to have kids that want to have competitive at-bats. That's the only thing we're trying to get the mentality of, is be competitive in your at-bat. You're going to strike out, but we got to get the bat off the shoulder. We can't be looking at third strikes. We can't be taking that for granted, that we think we know the strike zone better than the umpire knows the strike zone, looking back at the umpire. I mean, those are just little things that in our program we take pride in not doing. And we've had a few guys getting frustrated. So right now I would say, we've got pretty good hitters 1 through 5, and from the rest of it, we just have to work on the consistency. They have to work on is the mentality of saying, I can do this. All right. Whether it's get in the box and be a little bit more aggressive, whether it's everybody has to learn how to hit with 2 strikes. Other guys get more opportunities. We've got a month left of the season is all. Seems like a long time, but it's really not. So we just have to keep working with kids, and they have to keep working on their craft and the mentality enough when they step in the box to know that this is the time to shine, this is the time to go, and to keep working on staying positive with themselves.
Well, Coach, a lot of the fun stuff starts to happen this week. You talked about that game against Forest City and some of the conference implications in that. After that, you guys head to Target Field in Minneapolis to play Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. And past few years for your baseball program, a couple years ago, you guys played Principal Park in Des Moines. You had that game at Rippey last year. Now, a game in Minneapolis where the Twins are playing Major League Baseball. So, obviously, some memories that guys are going to take with them for a long time. I guess, can you speak on that from a general sense of trying to give guys opportunities like this where not every program gets to play in these type of venues and these type of games?
For sure. When the state sent out the email a year and a half ago about this opportunity, I reached out to the Twins immediately. We got put on a waiting list because we didn't immediately have an opponent. I reached out to a bunch of boosters, said we have to raise this amount of money, and we're going to sell tickets, but can you help make up the difference if we come short? And we had numerous business say, absolutely. This sounds like an amazing opportunity. We've taken the team up to games the last 2 or 3 years. And when I announced it to them in November, well, we're not only going to watch a game, we're going to play after we watch a game. And they were blown away. A lot of them thought I was kidding, that we were just going to another game again, but I picked out a date. But no, this is a thing that I'm excited for. I'm a baseball fan. I am a Twins fan, but it's just I'm a baseball fan. And for us to get the kids up there and lifelong experience, whether you're a Twins fan or not, for them to be on a major league field, to come out of the tunnels that are going to be in left center by the bullpens, for them to experience that walk, it'll be nothing they'll ever do again like that. So Principal Park, that's its own experience. It used to be where our state tournament used to be. It's been voted the top field numerous times in minor league baseball. So for our kids to play on a field that is just that well manicured, and you're going to get true hops, and just in a place where if you're a Cubs fan, future Chicago Cubs players are playing there, being molded there in Des Moines. Rippey thing last year was an experience in and of itself. It's an old traditional ballpark. A lot of things that happened there back in the 20s and 30s. So it's a nice thing to be able to do for kids. I know our kids, as we've gotten closer here in the last month, and now we're the week of, are really definitely dialed in. And, I think even for me, until we get up there and we actually I make that walk myself, I think it'll be a pinch me moment to say, holy cow, we are here, we're doing this. And I hope, going forward, our program can do other things. We've talked about playing down the Buck Stadium. That's in Waterloo. We've talked about going down and playing Battle of the Bluffs when the College World Series is going on, play down there and then go to a game. So we try to get our kids to experience baseball, I guess, the way I experienced baseball growing up. I still love the game. The game's been very good to me. I've got to meet a lot of good people and hopefully keep coaching kids and keep developing Bishop Garrigan baseball. That goes back to when my dad came down here in the summer of '89.
Well, Coach, last thing I think I had for today, when you play that game in the Twin Cities at Target Field, when everyone comes out onto the field, I think jaws are going to be on the ground, but then you still have a baseball game to play after that, and you have to impress upon the guys. It's still 90 feet between the bases. It's still 60 feet, 6 inches to the mound. How do you sort of get guys in that mindset where, yes, it is an experience that's going to have a lot of awe, but you still have a game to play after that?
Well, it's funny you say that because the first thing that comes to mind is the movie Hoosiers when they're going to the title game and they go practice at Butler and Hinkle Fieldhouse and they go measure all of the things, the free throw line, the height of the rim and all that stuff, and says this is the same as it is back at Hickory. So this is the same as it is at Garrigan, except everything is going to be much more manicured than what we have it out at Garrigan. So, yeah, we're going up there to win a baseball game, and the focus has to be on once I get out in the field is I'm still doing my routine. A lot of baseball players call them superstitious, call athletes in general about their routine, but I think there's comfort in finding a routine. And then, I know this is what I do every day. I stretch, I run, I play catch, I do my dailies. I get in a mindset of this is what I'm asked to do. Where am I at the lineup today? We got to be ready to bunt, hit and run, suicide squeeze. Defensively, I got to be ready for the next play, back up bases, all the little things. Routine is a great thing, and I think sometimes it gets downplayed too much or made fun of as silly. But I think any of us that have coached or played understand routine is so important to just the mindset of saying, this is what needs to be done. Let's go do it. So I think there'll be part of the boys that will struggle with that initially on Thursday. And that, that goes without saying because they've never been on the field before at a major league stadium. Neither have I. So I think it's a pretty good deal. So I look forward to it. I fortunately in college, I got to play in the Metrodome. So that was part of our spring break. We always laughed about it. Every other college drove south for their spring break. We drove north, but we got to play in the Metrodome. So we got guaranteed games because we didn't get rained out or anything. But that was a unique experience in and of itself. So I hope this is a cool experience for the kids and all the fans that are coming up to support us. We're really looking forward to it, and hopefully this is something, too, that can give some of those guys that are struggling batting right now maybe a little confidence, maybe just to feel like I can do it now. And, our mantra kind of is I can, I will. So let's go after it, and let's go do it and figure it out.
That's Bishop Garrigan baseball coach Rob Meister here on Hometown Radio KLGA. Coming up, it's the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and the Clarion-Goldfield-Dows Cowboys, live from Target Field and on Hometown Radio KLGA.
More sports club members.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush beats a full house.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for health care.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
Reeves Wicked Good Bar and Grill. For wicked good food, drinks, and service, you gotta go to Reeves.
High Point Land Company, your trusted land partner in Algona.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
CB Grain Solutions, satisfaction guaranteed.
Dump It, Kasuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Billy Offerman, your State Farm agent in Algona. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Greg Penning and Company, certified public accountants where everyone counts.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Signworks Inc. For all your signage needs and printed apparel, stop in or call 295-9544.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new and used vehicle needs.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country, carrying steel and Toro products and Green Mountain pellet grills.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
Hey Golden Bear fans, this is Brady Galligan, and you're listening to Bishop Garrigan Baseball on KLGA.
The Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears have taken the field at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A light drizzle falling right now here as Brady Galligan taking his warm-up tosses on a Major League Baseball diamond. What a game this is going to be. Bishop Garrigan designated as a home team against Clarion-Goldfield-Dows as the hearty crowd that's made their way out here already scampering for a little cover here of the rain starting to come down in Minneapolis, Minnesota. But hopefully, folks, that is just all it is, a little bit of rain, and we'll be able to get this game in at least as much as possible. Like we said earlier, a 2-hour time limit on this one from the time it gets underway, so that is as long as they will possibly play, but we hope that Mother Nature lets us get this whole game in as Brady Galligan takes his warm tosses right now for Bishop Garrigan. Galligan, the senior pitcher, has started 3 games. He's pitched in 4 overall. His record 1-2 on the season of a 2.88 ERA, 18 strikeouts, 15 walks. Opponents batting .203 against Galligan in 17 innings pitched. For Clarion-Goldfield-Dows, they're starting 9. They'll lead things off with Tristan Kokasik. Batting second is Jacob Ruba. Hitting third, Paxton Lingenfelter. Ethan Hasty bats 4th. Colton Hefty hits 5th. Hux Lee Lingenfelter hits 6th. Owen Sweeney bats 7th. Chaz Lane hitting 8th. And Cohen Langfit batting 9th. Going to work right now is Brady Galligan of his battery mate, Tate First behind home plate. We'll get you the starting lineups as much as we can here in a second as Galligan delivers. And the first pitch from Target Field misses inside and up for ball 1. And we are underway here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Boy, you can only imagine what the Golden Bear players and Cowboy players are feeling right now down on that field. A Major League Baseball diamond as Galligan delivers ball 2. Galligan into the windup. The mound still 60 feet 6 inches away as that one is over the plate for a called strike, making the count 2-1 from the Bishop Garrigan senior. Golden Bears wearing black uniforms, the script Garrigan on the front of the gray pants as that pitch is delivered in there for a called strike, and the count even at 2-2. It is the gold baseball cap for the black brim. The motion in the pitch by Galligan, and that one skips in to make the count full here at 3-2. Clarion-Goldfield-Dows in the road grays, the vertical pinstripes and the black sleeves underneath the shirt, black numerals on the front and back of the jerseys for the Cowboys. Motion in the pitch by Galligan, that one hit hard towards shortstop, and that one is through into left center field for a base hit. That one skipped by Mice over at shortstop for Bishop Garrigan, and Clarion-Goldfield-Dows gets their leadoff man aboard as Tristan Kokasik able to reach on that one. So an early base hit here for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. 1 on, nobody out against Bishop Garrigan. These two former NCC foes, Clarion-Goldfield-Dows, still in the North Central Conference. Bishop Garrigan, of course, in the top of Iowa West. As Galligan will go to work with a man on base, and Jacob Ruba, the pitcher, batting. Ruba holding the hands high, taking that pitch outside corner for a called strike. That one caught the black. Well, with the 2-hour time limit, these Bishop Garrigan pitchers, they always work fast as Galligan throws a pick off to first base. Not at times Kokasik dives back in. That works to their advantage as far as getting this full game in here this afternoon because the Garrigan pitchers, they get the ball and they don't waste any time. They come right to home plate. Galligan slide step in the pitch, and he pulled it outside for a ball, evening the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Here at Target Field, it's 339 down the left field line, 377 to left center field gap, 411 in that part in center field that just juts out a little bit, and 403 just to the right of center. Definitely different dimensions than the Golden Bears are used to as that pitch just missed the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. And that is the thing to watch here today with how cavernous a Major League outfield is. A ball in the gap will create some interest as there's a ground ball to shortstop. Mice to second for 1. Graves will hang on to the ball as they won't make a relay. They will erase the lead runner at second base. Fielder's choice, 1 out. So Ruba aboard first base. And the rain picking up here a little bit. Target Field in Minneapolis as we play on. Wind blowing left to right across the diamond today. It would already take a mighty swing to hit one out here on a Major League diamond, but certainly for the wind coming in from left field, I would imagine we won't be seeing that here today, barring a tremendous display of power. Brandon Stein will courtesy run right now for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. 1 out, 1 on. Galligan back to work against Paxton Lingenfelter as Paxton Lingenfelter takes that pitch, and that is ball 1 from Brady Galligan. Lingenfelter so far this season, 5 hits and 14 at-bats as Galligan motions and delivers. There's a line drive rocket into right center field. Look out. Everyone's going to be off to the races. Chasing after it in the outfield, Bishop Garrigan's Lear, and he will get it back into the infield. Rounding third base is Stein. He'll slam on the brakes, and he'll stop right there. That is a single on a high school field, folks, but with how cavernous these gaps are and how far the outfielders have to go to cover the gaps, that is a double to the opposite field by Lingenfelter, and Clarion-Goldfield-Dows with an early threat against Bishop Garrigan. Holash is in left field for the Golden Bears. Muller in right field, and Lear out in center field trying to eat up ground of those long strides. So Golden Bears have Galligan working in a jam right now, second and third, as that pitch is in there for a called strike to Ethan Hasty. Hasty, right-handed hitting junior, 9 hits and 26 at-bats so far this year as Hasty takes. And that one will even the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the motion and the pitch, and that one is inside, and that one is going to drill Hasty. So the bags will be full of Clarion-Goldfield-Dows Cowboys, and you can feel those early butterflies here defensively for Bishop Garrigan. You have so much green grass to cover. You're on that Major League diamond, but like we talked about with Coach Meister earlier this week, it's still 90 feet in between the bases. It's still 60 feet, 6 inches out to the pitching rubber, as right now we are going to have a mound visit for the Golden Bears with Brady Galligan to probably talk over that exact thing. Well, the grip is going to be an issue as well in the baseball, as the rain is coming down here at Target Field, so it's going to be a wet ball. And looking down at the mound, they do have a rosin bag out there. Well, no, they don't have a rosin bag out there. It's Galligan's white shoes, so no rosin bag out there to dry the feet off or dry the hands off, so he'll just have to wipe it on his jersey. Colton Hefty, designated hitter, batting. Hefty taking, and that pitch is delivered for a called strike from Galligan. Well, looking at the outfield, it appears that Bishop Garrigan is playing very shallow, but of course at this Major League field, that is about normal outfield depth if you had considered what a high school field will look like. But these outfielders are going to have to do some running today. The 1-1 from Galligan. There is a wave and a miss by Hefty. He's behind in the count, 1-2. Hefty, 6 hits and 22 at-bats so far this season. Galligan working quickly with the 1-2 pitch. Just off the outside corner. Good take there by Hefty, and the count evens, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The senior Brady Galligan works again at the 2-2 pitch. Down and away, gets away from first behind home plate. Here comes the runner from third base, and sliding in and tagged out is Stein. Stein is out at home plate. He tapped the top of his helmet, almost like he was calling for a challenge right there, but he is retired at home on a great play by Tate Furch. How about Furch scrambling to the backstop, getting that ball, and then firing to Galligan, covering at home plate for out number 2 of the inning. That had to happen rapidly if this big home plate backstop at Target Field in Minneapolis. And there is a swing and a miss for strike 3. Hefty is put down, and the Golden Bears are out of the jam. What a job by Brady Galligan. We stay scoreless, heading to the bottom of 1 from Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
American Glass. For all your glass needs, think American.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch, Daniel Foth, and Michael Tull.
Chemco Tires. They're all you need to know about tires and service.
Wykert Realtors, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Grassmasters. Growing satisfied customers.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
Glenn's Green Thumb. From a small seed, something beautiful will grow.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com.
All right, folks, well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the rain has intensified here from Target Field in Minneapolis, and this game is now in a rain delay. They are putting some tarps on the home plate area and on the pitcher's mound as well, and they're going to start to cover up this field here to prevent it from taking on too much water. It is a Major League field, and the Twins still have to play, so you don't want these high schoolers tearing up the field too much if it gets soaked. So right now this game is going to be in a rain delay, and we will wait further word on what the situation is going forward. Well, folks, for those of you watching on the Algona Radio YouTube stream, we are going to keep the YouTube stream up here with no audio. If you're listening on the radio station, we'll go back down to our regularly scheduled programming until this rain delay comes to an end. We'll give you another update when we know more, but as of right now, now, this game here at Target Field in Minneapolis is in a rain delay and dark skies outside, so we'll see how long this rain lasts. So we'll go back down to the studio. I'm Tyler Lance here on Hometown Radio KLGA. As I said, we'll have another update once one becomes available. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to bring you back to Target Field here on Hometown Radio KLGA and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream. After a heroic effort by the Minnesota Twins grounds crew, we are going to resume baseball action here between the Clarion-Goldfield-Dows Cowboys and the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. Now, of course, like we mentioned, this game got started. The top half of the first inning was played as Clarion-Goldfield-Dows stranded 2 runners on base, and we stay scoreless heading to the bottom of the second inning. So it'll be Bishop Garrigan's turn to bat, and we are going to resume here at Target Field. I'll tell you what, folks, we are very, very lucky. Looking at the weather radar here in Minneapolis, if this field was located about 15 miles north of where we're at right now, there is zero chance we'd be playing baseball tonight. But most of the bad stuff is above us, but the bottom of that big blob on the radar just happened to catch us. We got some rain there for a little while. Even still now, it's a little bit of a drizzle, but it's much lighter than it was when they put this game into postponement. Well, for Bishop Garrigan, they're starting 9. It's the catcher Tate Furch batting leadoff. The shortstop Dan Meiss hitting second. First baseman Carter Schwab hitting third. Pitcher Brady Galligan batting cleanup. Center fielder Nick Lear hitting fifth. Third baseman Aiden Deitring hitting sixth. Caden Graves, second baseman, hitting seventh. Drew Moeller, right fielder, batting eighth. And Thad Kolash, left fielder, hitting ninth. It would have just been a shame, folks, if this game would have had to have been canceled after just half an inning because, like we said earlier, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for these players and these two schools as Clarion-Goldfield-Dows takes on Bishop Garrigan here from Target Field in Minneapolis. As we resume, it'll be Jacob Ruba, the freshman for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows, works first base side of the pitching rubber and delivers. And Tate Furch blasts that one in the air, left field, drifting back on it, getting a late break out there in left field, and reaching out to make the grab for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows is their left fielder, Ryland Morgan. So that is out number 1 of the inning. Furch gave that a pretty good ride, and if that looked medium deep to left field, that's because it is 377 towards that left center field gap. In a high school field, that would have been a deep fly ball, but unfortunately here in Target Field, the big outfield would swallow that one up for out number 1. So Tate Furch retired there on a fly out to left field on the first pitch as Dan Meiss, starting shortstop, stands in, waving that bat above the back shoulder here in front of a hearty crowd that is stuck around here for the rain at Target Field. Meiss reaching for that one, flaring at shallow left field, and that one's going to get down for a base hit. Clarion-Goldfield-Dows, they're playing substantially deeper in the outfield than Bishop Garrigan was in their half of the inning. They really want to avoid any triples or inside the park home runs hit over their heads. So if you're the Golden Bears, you put the ball in play, you might get some bloops over the infield just like that. So 1 out, 1 on for Carter Schwab, the left-handed hitting first baseman for Bishop Garrigan, as Schwab batting .276 on the season, 4 runs knocked in. Ruba, the starting pitcher, wants to get a new baseball. Bishop Garrigan's head coach is Rob Meister. Clarion-Goldfield-Dows' head coach is Ryan Nail. And this is not the first time these two teams have matched up in a unique game like this. In 2022, the last time these two teams played, it took place at Principal Park in Des Moines. Meiss, big secondary lead, but he stays put at first base as the pitch will miss. It'll graze the zone, beg your pardon, for strike 1. Golden Bears won that game 12-1. One of the high school teams that got a chance to play at Principal Park in Des Moines in 2022. Bishop Garrigan was, as was Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. That was the most recent meeting between these two schools. Meiss is stealing, pitch to Schwab. That one's a called strike, and there will be no throw as the ball is bobbled behind home plate and not controlled by Lingenfelter. Up to second base goes Meiss, and the Golden Bears have a runner in scoring position with only 1 out. And now an 0-2 count on Carter Schwab. These two teams both used to be members of the North Central Conference, so there are a lot of historical matchups, but Bishop Garrigan is 11-0 against Clarion-Goldfield-Dows dating back to 2010. Ruba's pitch, that is well outside to Schwab, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Temperatures now in the 60s here in Minneapolis. Wind still blowing left to right across the field as Clarion-Goldfield-Dows wears the gray uniforms. Bishop Garrigan in the blacks with the white pants. Ruba working first base side of the pitching rubber delivers. Actually, gray pants for the Golden Bears as Ruba misses on that one to even the count 2-2. That 2022 matchup between Bishop Garrigan and Clarion-Goldfield-Dows was the first meeting between these teams since the 2014 season. Back when they were both in the NCC. The look towards second end of the pitch. Meiss took another big running secondary lead out there on the base paths, and it is a pitch that misses out of the zone to bring the count full at 3-2. You got to remember, these bases are still the same distance apart. Even though this is a cavernous outfield, maybe a bigger foul territory than these teams are used to, it is still 90 feet between bases. As the pitch to Schwab, there's a swing and a foul tip into the glove of Lingenfelter behind home plate as Ruba able to fan Schwab and get the second out of the inning. Runner stays at second base, and now Brady Galligan will try to help out his own cause for the Golden Bears, the right-handed hitting senior today on the pitching mound. Galligan, 8 hits and 29 at-bats this year. That's a .276 batting average, 8 runs driven in. trying to break the lid on this one early. Pitch to Garrigan, Meister stealing third as that ball's popped high in the air, foul territory, first base side. It'll stay in play, and Lingenfelter makes the grab. All the way in front of the Garrigan first base dugout, the catcher had to venture far away from his natural position to make the grab on that one, and it stuck in the glove. Bishop Garrigan threatens, but they do not score as they leave a man on base. No score heading to the second inning from Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa bone, joint, and sports surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com.
We've got more sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Algona Frame and Auto Body. We meet by accident.
Water Connection, from softeners to bottled water and service. Call 295-SOFT.
Algona Pizza Ranch. There's so much to love.
Cotton Gray Farm Management and Land Realty, downtown Algona. Trusted for farmland service needs since 1960.
Algona Livestock. Sales every Monday.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce. 2 sauces for all seasons.
All bringing you this broadcast on the radio.
Hey Golden Bear fans, this is Dan Mice. You're listening to Bishop Garrigan Baseball on KLGA.
Back here at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as Clarion-Goldfield-Dows and Bishop Garrigan are scoreless, heading to the top of the second inning. It'll be Huxley Lingenfelter to lead things off, followed by Owen Sweeney and Chaz Lane in the Cowboy batting order. I'm Tyler Lance with you tonight, solo here on Hometown Radio KLGA. Believe it or not, Beanie Bodie is here inside of Target Field, but unfortunately, he had a little too much Kool-Aid during the Twins game, so he won't be joining us here tonight. Fortunately, though, he does not have to drive home, which is excellent news for everyone out there on the roadways. Ball is fouled back to the screen, and Huxley Lingenfelter down on the count 0-1 here against Brady Garrigan. Garrigan had to re-warm up as that ball is flared first base side, foul territory, and that one will get into the seats. Well, the big question last night I asked during the Bishop Garrigan softball game, do you have to return those foul balls to the field? Of course, in a Major League game, you keep the foul balls, but it's a high school game at a Major League field. This is the ground ball down the third base line. That one is fair. That one's going to roll down the left field line for Huxley Lingenfelter, and he will be held with a single. Boy, what a great job by Thad Kolash in left field. He got to that ball very quickly. I'm going to sound like a broken record here, folks, but you have to cover a massive amount of ground in the outfield here at a Major League stadium. I thought for sure that was going to be a double off the bat of Lingenfelter, who was hustling out of the box, but Kolash got to that quickly and held Lingenfelter with a single down the left field line. So Lingenfelter now 1 for 1 as Owen Sweeney will stand in for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. The right-handed hitting third baseman holds that bat vertically in his stance as he rips that one down the left field line, but foul. Deitring, the third baseman for Bishop Garrigan, but he had no chance to get to that one as that was ripped on a line into foul territory. It's Furch behind home plate. Deitring at third is the next pitch. Beautiful breaking ball, but it missed, and the count evens at 1-1. Mice is at short, Graves at second, Schwab at first. It's Kolash in left, Learer in center, and Moeller in right. Pitch to Sweeney is up high. Stealing second is Lingenfelter. Throw down is too high. And sliding in underneath the tag is Lingenfelter as he swipes the bag. And the Cowboys have another runner in scoring position. Garrigan in the first inning had to work around traffic. Bases were loaded at one point, but a Cowboy runner attempting to score on a wild pitch was thrown out at home plate. And now a courtesy runner is going to come into second base for the catcher, Lingenfelter. That will be freshman Caleb Sweeney. So Sweeney now to second base. Outfield playing straight up here for Owen Sweeney, who tries to drive in, presumably his brother from second base. Laying on deck as Sweeney lifts the bat. And that pitch is inside, and that hit him between the 1 and the 5 on his jersey. You could hear that one all the way up here, and the Cowboys threatening once again. First and second, nobody out against Brady Garrigan. Well, it's going to be a nervous situation in this game for every player playing. I mean, you're looking out and you're seeing this cavernous stadium, 39,504 seats. Of course, 3 decks out there as well as the kick and the pitch, squaring to bunt, and bunting and missing is Chaz Lane. He bunted at a pitch that was above his head, and he's down to the count 0-1. But those nerves are amplified, especially when you're the pitcher, because you're the one in control of the rhythm of the game. You get to decide how things are going to flow here tonight and how things will move as the kick and the pitch by Garrigan. There's a swing and miss by Lane, who is not showing bunt, and he's down to the count 0-2. And the pitcher on both sides, that's going to be your tone setter. If the pitcher throws well, the rest of the team is going to follow your lead most of the time, but if the pitcher is struggling, that can bleed over to the rest of the starting nine as well. Pick off to second base, close play. Sliding back in there with Sweeney, as Bishop Garrigan had a set play that time to try to pick him off, but he was in there safely, feet first on the slide. That's the other thing as well. If you try to pick someone off today, you throw the ball away, it might be 2 bases with this major league-sized field. They'll look towards second, kick and the pitch. There's a wave and a miss by Lane. He is extinguished by Galligan for the first out of the inning as Lane goes down on 3 pitches. So 1 out, 2 runners still on base. Sweeney on second and Sweeney on first. That is Caleb Sweeney on second and Owen Sweeney on first for the number 9 hitter, Cohen Langfit. Right-handed hitting center fielder, wearing the white batting gloves as he reaches for that ball and flares it foul over the top of the Bishop Garrigan first base dugout. But like I was saying earlier, do you have to return these foul balls or do you get to keep them in this major league stadium? I think they're going to have to take all foul balls down to the field from what I've seen earlier on in this game, which makes sense. Galligan's pitch, nice off-speed offering as he got Langfit to foul tip it into the glove of Furch, and the count 0-2. What's also interesting is we have 4 umpires for this game. The look towards second by Galligan as he kicks and delivers. He spikes that in. Furch can't pick it on the backhand side. Both Sweeney's moving up. Throw to third base. And that one is in the dirt. Nicely picked out by Deitring over there to prevent a throw into left. But now the double play is off and runners at second and third. But you have an umpire at every base here at Target Field, unlike the normal 2 at most high school games in Iowa. That pitch is rolled through the middle. That'll get a run home. Mice gloves at shortstop. Lobs to first base in time for the out. Sweeney comes home to score, and it's 1-0 Clarion-Goldfield-Dows as Cohen Langfit comes through with the RBI ground out. And that is how big that wild pitch was. It gives the Cowboys the early 1-0 lead. Top half of the second inning. The road Cowboys now have Tristan Kakosik stepping up. Singled his last time up. As that breaking ball bends over the inside corner of the plate, you can see the motion on that pitch from up here from Galligan. Galligan works quickly now from the windup, his 0-1. And that one down and outside. Kakosik not chasing after that one. Count even 1-1. 1-0 Cowboys as Ruba's on deck. Mice saddles up for the 1-1 pitch. There's a wave and a miss. Went back to the heater that time. Had Kakosik behind it. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kakosik out of a crouched right-handed stance. Galligan's pitch. Ground ball towards second base. Graves picks it up. Has trouble getting it out of his glove. Throw to first base. Almost pulled Schwab off the bag. But Schwab was able to hold the bag with a big stretch. And Bishop Garrigan will limit the damage to just 1 run. So Kakosik grounds out to the end of the inning, but the Cowboys take a 1-0 lead as we move to the bottom of the second from Target Field in Minneapolis and on Hometown Radio, KLGA.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Central Financial Group, where you belong.
Down to Earth Tree Service, your local Algona tree service.
Styles Salon, your salon in Algona. Create yourself.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Holmes Animal Clinic, animals large and small. They love them all.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
All bringing you this ball game.
We've got more sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
TAFE Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong, keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
Lichter's Garage Door Service and new installations. A reputation you can trust. Call 515-295-5988.
Ed Service Station. Service you can trust.
J&J Custom Meats, continuing the traditions in Whittemore.
Ulrich Construction. Let them do the work.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Hey Golden Bear fans, this is Tate Furch, and you're listening to Bishop Garrigan Baseball on KLGA.
Bottom of the second inning from Target Field as Nick Lear, Aiden Deitring, and Caden Graves will be the batters for the Golden Bears going up against Jacob Ruba for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. Cowboys with a 1-0 lead over Bishop Garrigan as it'll be Lear standing in for the Golden Bears. Lear, the hottest hitter so far this season, .467 batting average and .543 on-base percentage. He has driven in 6 runs so far on this young season for Bishop Garrigan. Well, we give a big thank you to the Minnesota Twins grounds crew here today. It's a Major League field, so it gets Major League care. Ruba onto the pitching rubber to work the bottom half of the second inning. The right-hander into the windup and the pitch. And a looping breaking ball will stay out of the zone. 1-0 count. Ruba, the freshman pitcher, wearing jersey number 25, facing Nick Lear. In case you missed it, we were in a fairly lengthy rain delay there, as it came down hard there for a moment here at Target Field, but steadily for about half an hour as that pitch off the inside corner to Lear, 2-0 count. And if this was a high school game and we got that kind of rain, the field would have been unsalvageable, but the Minnesota Twins grounds crew came out here and used a heroic amount of drying agent to clean up this field. They must have gone through their entire supply of how much they poured on the field. They made a huge effort to make sure we could play this baseball game today. The 2-0 pitch. Lear rips one into left field for a base hit on a line, and Nick Lear stays hot. He'll take a big turnaround first base. He's trying for two, and he is out by a country mile. He is tagged down at second base by Kakosik. Kakosik could have pulled out a lawn chair, sat down, read the newspaper, and then tagged Lear out. And that's one of those plays, you just got a little greedy here on the Major League field. Nick Lear was thinking the same thing you and I are thinking. Oh, big outfield, we're going to stretch this into a double, but he was maybe halfway to second base by the time that throw arrived at Kakosik. And Lear with the single, but thrown out at second for out number one of the inning. But who can blame him? I mean, you're playing on a Major League field. Who wouldn't try to stretch a single into a double at some point? You only get to play at this venue once, unless you make it all the way to the bigs, which, like we established, that is more than 1 in a million for all of us. First pitch fouled back by Deitring for the Golden Bears, 0-1 count, as Graves is on deck. Ruba into the motion and the pitch. Breaking ball misses down and away to even the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. But to go back to the grounds crew, I mean, it would have been very easy for them to look at the radar and say, we're not playing this game today, and plus the field's already too wet. You guys are out of luck, but they made a massive effort to get this game underway as that ball is ripped foul. And remember, folks, the grounds crew was here for the Twins game that was ahead of us, so they're essentially working twice as long as they would normally work at a game. So definitely be thankful for this Minnesota Twins grounds crew because they did a bang-up job on the field to get it ready. It was not in great shape there, but the amount of drying agent they put on got this field in playable condition. Pitches outside for a ball to Deitring, and the count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just approaching the top of the 5 o'clock hour here on Hometown Radio KLGA Algona and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream. The motion by Ruba and the 2-2 pitch. And a breaking ball absolutely froze Deitring. That is strikeout number 2 by Ruba, and Deitring is down for out number 2 of the inning. Caden Graves now batting for the Golden Bears. The right-handed hitting junior, 3 out of 25 at the dish thus far this season. And watch the strikeouts here today. Strikeouts have been a massive issue for the Bishop Garrigan offense. Already 93 strikeouts in 244 at-bats. They have walked just 37 times compared to those 93 strikeouts. And again, it's just early, but 2 Ks by Ruba early on in this one. It's very simple in high school. You put the ball in play, especially at this big target field. You're putting pressure on the defense. You're making it tough on them to make plays. And you're using some of the good speed that you have as a team because Bishop Garrigan does have some burners on their roster who ran track and field as Graves waves and misses to get behind it in the count 0-2. Ruba, first base side of the pitching rubber. Fires the 0-2. Graves reaching for that one and popping at first base side, foul territory, but that one will find the seating area on the first base side. Well, for any of the young fans who do come up here sometimes on the weekend to go to Minnesota Twins games, a little less competition for the foul balls in this one. A small but hearty group of fans from both the high school teams here today watching, with the Cowboy fans sitting third base side and the Bishop Garrigan fans first base side and behind home plate as well. Ruba's 0-2 pitch. Graves fights that one off again. First base side, foul territories, that'll get out of play. That's one of those looping breaking balls where it's easy to be way out in front, but Graves got that front foot down, and then you have to pause before you start that swing to make sure the bat is in the zone at the same time the ball is. Ruba from the windup. Base is empty of 2 outs. The 0-2 pitch. Graves hits out on the ground to shortstop. The 2-hopper is backhanded. The throw across the diamond, and Lane can't pick it at first base. Hasty's frozen in the dirt. Heading to second is Graves. The throw to second base. Graves hesitates, but that throws in the dirt as well. And safe at second is Graves. Kakosik couldn't dig out that throw because Graves was going to be out there by quite a bit, but Kakosik couldn't pick that ball, and Graves safe at second. So the Golden Bears almost run into 2 outs on the bases, but Graves will reach safely. Well, they have that as a hit on the scoreboard, so we'll call it a hit as well. That was picked on 2 hops on the backhanded side by Hasty. His throw to first base was low, and then it got away in front of the Twins' dugout. Nice job by the catcher, Lingenfelter, hustling all the way behind there to back up the play, and had a play on Graves at second base, but the lack of a pick means the inning is alive for the Golden Bears. So single plus an error for Caden Graves as he is on second base. The pitch to Drew Mahler is strike 1. Mahler, left-handed hitting right fielder today for the Golden Bears. 2 for 23 at the dish thus far this season. Hitting in a square stance, front of the left-handed box, that is. And from the front of the box, he will take that pitch for a ball to even the count. 1-1 from Ruba. Outfield pulled around towards right center field for Mahler. A cavernous gap out there in left center. As Kolash waits on deck. Short lead at second for Graves. Ruba's pitch. There's a cut and a miss by Mahler. And the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, you could tell before the game the Bishop Garrigan coaching staff told their players, hey, be aggressive on the base paths today, guys. Although I do think early on here you've maybe seen that go just a little bit too far. I'm sure the coaches between innings will say, let's dial that back just a notch. Mahler trying to drive in a 2-out run. 1-0 Clarion-Goldfield-Dows as Mahler back into the left-handed batter's box. Graves at second for the Golden Bears. Ruba with the long look in. Hands at the belt. And the freshman's next offering. Mahler watching as that breaking ball stayed outside. Ruba wanted that big breaker that would come back over the outside corner of the plate, but sort of backed up on him there and stayed outside as the count 3 balls and 1 strike on Mahler. Number 8 hitter in the Bishop Garrigan lineup. Back-to-back seniors here, 8-9 of Mahler and Kolash. Pitch to Mahler. Mahler ground ball towards second base. It is picked up at second by Kakosik for the first base. Lane, and Lane's foot wasn't on the bag. Lane jumped up to grab that ball, and his foot didn't come down in time. So Mahler is safe at first base on the good hustle, and over to third goes Graves. The inning stays alive for the Golden Bears. Just a slow roller there towards second base. And the first baseman Lane kind of ventured off the bag there, thinking that he might make the play on that. Then he had to hustle to get back to the bag. By the time he did, it looked like he had a little trouble finding the bag and then landing on it in time. So the inning is alive for Thad Kolash. The senior 4 for 22 at the dish thus far this season. Kolash with 1 RBI looking for number 2. Bats out of a squared stance, 3/4 of the way up in the right-handed box. Ruba's pitch is way up high as Lingenfelter jumps out of his stance to grab it. Count 1-0 on Kolash. A dangerous Tate Furch waits in the on-deck circle for Bishop Garrigan as Kolash, the number 9 hitter, wearing jersey number 9, steps in. Outfield playing straight away. The center fielder, Langfit, relatively shallow here for Kolash. The outfield is deeper in the corners for the Cowboys as that pitch is down and away for a ball, and the count 2-0 on Kolash. Ruba has walked about half the amount of batters that he struck out thus far this season, but is behind here 2-0 against Kolash. Mahler at first, Graves at third. Ruba slides and delivers, and that pitch is at eye level to Kolash. Count goes 3 balls and no strikes. So in all likelihood, a take sign here to Kolash. At least 1, if not, still being very selective on a potential 3-1 pitch if Ruba is able to find the zone here. Golden Bears are manufacturing something of 2 outs. Hands at the belt. Ruba's next pitch. Kolash taking, and that one will find the zone for a called strike, 3-1. And remember, the first out of the inning was made on the base paths, so the only other out was the strikeout of Aiden Deitring. So that out on the base paths looking especially big here for this 2-out situation. First and third for the Golden Bears. Ruba checks on Mahler at first and delivers. And that pitch is in the dirt, and it gets away from Lingenfelter behind home plate. Here comes Graves, and he slides in safely. This game is tied, and Mahler is still running. He's now at third base. Mahler moves up 2 pitches because he was running on that 3-1 pitch. Mahler moves up 2 bases, that is. He was moving on the 3-1 pitch, and the wild pitch gives Bishop Garrigan a run. So a couple of wild offerings, 1 on each side, and that has tied this game at 1 apiece. So Kolash draws the walk, and then he advances to second because, of course, that ball got away, and the attention of the defense was not on Kolash. So now a chance for Bishop Garrigan to grab their first lead of the game. Bottom of the second, tied at 1, and Tate Furch, right-handed hitting catcher, who fouled out, that is, his first time up. Furch looking to get the offense on track here, batting .226 in the early going. Has the ability to be a 400-plus hitter, though, for the Golden Bears when he really gets it working. As Ruba snaps off a beautiful breaking ball, Furch letting that one go for strike 1 on the first offering. Well, there is a pitcher in the bullpen for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows warming up right now. And yes, the actual bullpen, they let the players who are warming up go out there, which is another nice touch to this event. Pitches upstairs for a ball. The count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. The only thing that'd be better if Beanie Bodie was out there in left field bleachers heckling the pitchers as they warmed up, but I think the Twins would have frowned on that. Ruba's next offering. Fouled straight back to the screen by Furch. Boy, did he have a healthy cut at that one, but just underneath it as he fights it off, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. On this cool evening in Minneapolis. But the important thing is we are getting this game in. Moeller at third, Kolash at second. The 8-9 hitters getting something done for Bishop Garrigan, as well as the number 7 this inning. Pitch by Ruba. Breaking ball stays high, and the count even 2-2. And that's what will really round out your lineup. 7, 8, 9, all getting on base this inning for the Golden Bears. That was something earlier this season to think about, that the Golden Bears maybe didn't get the production they wanted from the bottom of their order, but here today, they're getting on base. Pitch to Furch, popped high in the air, third base side. Sweeney into foul territory, drifting back towards the line, makes the catch, one step in foul territory, and Furch retired on the foul pop-up for out number 3 of the inning. The Golden Bears strand 2 runners on base, but they do break through for their first run of the game. Bishop Garrigan and Clarion-Goldfield-Dows tied at 1 from Target Field in Minneapolis as we move to the 3rd inning.
Thank you to these Sports Club members bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Good Samaritan Society, Algona's senior housing and services rooted in God's love.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, Algona's locally owned coffee shop.
Tangle Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping, 515-320-3840.
All bringing you this ball game.
Thank you to these Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Runkey Brothers Full Service. Experience the Runkey Brothers difference for all your auto service and repair needs.
Hy-Vee. Use the Fuel Saver card. Fill your cart, fuel your car.
North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East in Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprises. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
Erpelding Void and Company CPAs. They're not just about taxes.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Tyler Lance back for you on Hometown Radio KLGA. It's now at the top of the 3rd inning. Clarion-Goldfield-Dows batting as they are tied 1-1 right now with Bishop Garrigan and the senior Brady Galligan going back to work on the pitching rubber against hitters 2, 3, and 4 in the Cowboy batting order. It'll be Ruba, Lingenfelter, and Hasty this inning. Well, I'm working solo here today. My partner, Beanie Bodie, is here at Target Field, but unfortunately, he got into a fight with the TC Bear earlier in the ball game, and that was a losing battle for Beanie, so he's being patched up right now. TC Bear beat him up pretty good, but we hope to have Beanie back at full strength at some point this season after taking that beatdown. Boy, speaking of beatdowns, unfortunately if you're a Twins fan, if you were here at the game prior to the Bishop Garrigan versus Clarion-Goldfield-Dows game getting started, you saw a beatdown as well. Texas beat Minnesota into a fine pulp today in Major League action. 16-3 the final score as Texas homered 6 times against Minnesota. It got bad enough that a position player pitched, Jonah Bride coming in at the end of the game for Minnesota. Although Bride with that nasty knuckleball. So the fans got to see that here today at Target Field. Galligan delivering ball 1 as Ruba reached on a fielder's choice last time. Ruba watching that one go, and the count 2-0 from Galligan. I'll be honest, folks, when you got in that rain delay, I was not expecting the rain to stop. I was thinking it might just lighten up, but even though the skies are hazy here, a very low air quality day in Minneapolis, there is no rain falling at this time. Again, got to shout out that grounds crew one more time. They did a gargantuan job there. It was a huge task in front of them to get this field playable once again, but they were able to do that as Ruba draws a 4-pitch walk to lead off the inning. So the Cowboys getting a lot of runners on here against Galligan, who just looks a little rushed sometimes. There's a fine line for these Bishop Garrigan pitchers between working quickly and in a good rhythm and rushing, and right now it just looks like the adrenaline early in this game is a bit too high for Galligan. He's kind of rushing his offerings up there, and the control has suffered as a result. Stein will be the courtesy runner on first base for the pitcher Ruba. Stein inching off the bag, held on by Schwab. And a check swing, but the pitch a called strike to Paxton Lingenfelter, the right fielder. Huxley Lingenfelter is the catcher. He bats 6th, but Paxton Lingenfelter here, the right fielder, doubled his last time up. Paxton Lingenfelter taking a called strike as that was another nice breaking ball by Galligan. The breaking ball control so far in this game has been better for Galligan than the fastball control. Stein dancing around at first base, clapping his hands, trying to draw Galligan's attention. He draws Furch's attention and almost got picked off. If Carter Schwab hangs onto that ball at first base, Stein is out. And right now his first base coach saying, hey, make sure if you're going to get that big of a lead, be ready to get back because Tate Furch has a great arm behind home plate. Clapping again at first base is Stein. Galligan slides and delivers and pitches in the dirt, blocked nicely by Furch as that'll keep the runner at first base. The center fielder, Nick Lear, is a step towards right center field. The third baseman, Deitring, pulled in near the cut of the grass. The kick and the pitch by Galligan. That ball is hit towards the gap in right center. Mahler gets over to it, though, and leaps up to make the grab. Stein will have to scamper back to first base after going about halfway to second, and Lingenfelter retired for out number 1. I'll tell you what, folks, anytime a ball is hit to the outfield, you just hold your breath in this game because that outfield is so huge. Even a routine fly ball like that, you're thinking, oh boy, if he misplays that, it's an inside the park home run. But Mahler did not misplay it. He made the grab, and that is out number 1 of the inning. There's a swing and a miss. Even Hasty tied up on the inside fastball by Galligan. Nothing in 1. 1 run, 3 hits so far for the Cowboys. 1 run, 4 hits thus far for the Golden Bears. And the unofficial scoring, 0-1 count on Hasty as Hefty is on deck. Running is Stein. It's a bunt attempt and it's fouled off. Boy, now Hasty is wishing he had pulled that bat back because Stein got a tremendous jump. He had timed up Galligan perfectly there, but he will have to go back to first base on the foul ball as the count 0-2 on Hasty. 1 out, 1 on for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. Pick off to first base. Stein, moderate lead, able to dive back in. Well, Target Field, hard to believe, but it's already in its 15th year. I guess technically year number 16 they're working on because it opened back in 2010. Inching off of Stein, there he goes again, pitches a breaking ball. Furch fires to second, but not nearly in time. Stein picked a great pitch to run on. Galligan tried the 0-2 breaking ball, and second base is stolen, so Cowboys get a runner in scoring position for the 3rd inning in a row. Dietrich stays in at third base. The second baseman Graves tries to hold the runner close. That ball flied in the air towards left center field. Lear started in. Now he's got to sprint backwards, and he misjudged it. It's over his head. Stein being waved around third base. Ball's backed up by Colash. He fires it in, but Stein is coming to the plate, and he will score. Ethan Hasty drives the 1-2 pitch over the head of Nick Lear. He took 2 steps in, realized his mistake, slammed on the brakes and sprinted backwards, but he couldn't make up for it as the Cowboys take the 2-1 lead. And there's a little trouble getting that wet ball in. Golden Bears bobbled it a little bit out in the outfield as well because Stein thought it was going to be caught, so he went back to second. He had a late break, but still had time to score as Hasty has the RBI double. So Cowboys 2, Golden Bears 1. And Colton Hefty saddling up in the right-handed batter's box against Galligan. Pitch to Hefty. Upstairs for a ball. It is a 1-0 count from Brady Galligan. Outfield straight up once again. Lear playing maybe a step deeper here to Hefty. The kick and the pitch. That's flied in the air again to center field. This time Lear waits for it, gets underneath it, and makes the grab. That time Lear took the first step backwards, then drifted in a couple steps to make the grab on Hefty. He was not going to let that one get over his head, as that is out number 2 of the inning. So 2 outs, runner at second base still. That's Hasty out there, and Huxley Lingenfelter the batter, as Lingenfelter singled and came around to score on the wild pitch in the second inning. Well, I guess technically his courtesy runner came around to score, but he did single there as he's 1 for 1. Owen Sweeney on deck for the Cowboys. Galligan trying to buckle down here as that pitch is down and away for a ball. 1-0 count. Clarion-Goldfield-Dows with their 6-9 overall record this season. Bishop Garrigan coming in 6-4, although last night they were up 5-1 on Forest City before that game got postponed. That pitch is ripped towards shortstop on one hop. Meister knocks it down. He recollects. He fires to first base, and he got the out. What a job by Meister to stay calm there. He waited for that one hopper, gloved it on the forehand side. It popped out of his glove. He picked it up. He saw when it came down, and he fired to first base to get Lingenfelter for the 3rd out of the inning. The Cowboys do scratch across a run, though, and they take a 2-1 lead, moving to the bottom of 3 on Hometown Radio KLGA and the Go to Radio YouTube stream.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Signworks Inc. For all your signage needs and printed apparel, stop in or call 295-9544.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new and used vehicle needs.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country, carrying steel and Toro products and Green Mountain pellet grills.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
Bear fans, this is Carter Schwab, and you're listening to Bishop Garrigan Baseball on KLGA.
It's the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and the Clarion-Goldfield-Dows Cowboys from the Kentucky Bluegrass Field here at Target Field in Minneapolis. Back to work goes Jacob Ruba, the right-handed freshman for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows, as his team has given him a 2-1 advantage on the RBI double by Ethan Hasty. Thus far, the Cowboys have left a runner in scoring position each inning, but they've scored one run in both the second and third to take a 2-1 lead over Bishop Garrigan. This inning, the Golden Bears will have Dan Mice, Carter Schwab, and Brady Galligan, 2, 3, and 4 in the batting order against the Cowboys. Activity continues in that Cowboy bullpen. They've had someone up there throwing for a decent amount of time now, just in case Ruba gets into trouble. As Ruba goes into the windup and brings it to Mice. That one is behind Mice. He wanted to lean backwards, then realized the pitcher was going to be behind him, so he started to lean forward there a little bit as well. Mice made a great play to end the inning in the Clarion-Goldfield-Dows half of the third on that one hopper. Stayed with it on the deflection. A lot of times fielders will panic when they deflect the ball and it goes out of their glove, but Mice picked the ball up immediately and fired a great throw to first base. Reaching for that pitch is Mice as he hits a sky-high pop left side of the infield. The shortstop Hasty gets underneath it, and he'll make the catch for out number 1 of the inning. Mice retired there for out 1. As the batter now, Carter Schwab, a strikeout victim his first time up. Left-handed hitting first baseman for the Golden Bears. Well, as I was saying before last inning ended, Bishop Garrigan yesterday was ahead of Forest City 5-1 in a key conference game. Forest City had been undefeated in conference play. Bishop Garrigan already 2 losses in the top of Iowa West, so they really needed a win yesterday. Pitch by Ruba. That one catches the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Any Golden Bear fans who are listening and are worrying, well, does that game still count? Is that 5-1 lead erased? Don't worry, because they will pick that game up from where they left off later on this season. So the progress is not erased. They'll just have to resume it later on. As that pitch catches the outside corner again to Schwab, and it's a 0-2 count. That is a generous outside corner early in this game. And Schwab behind here 0-2. Hits out of a slightly closed left-handed stance right on top of home plate. Not a whole lot of inside corner there to work with. As Schwab rips that one towards the gap. Look out, it's down for a base hit, and Schwab's going to run for a while. That ball will roll all the way to the fence in right center field as Schwab is around second base. He's not stopping there. The big man is motoring to third base. Get him some oxygen, ladies and gents. It's a triple by Carter Schwab. The Golden Bear dugout loves it, and so do their fans. And that's exactly what we thought would happen here today. At some point, someone's going to hit a ball into the gap, and it's going to turn into a triple or inside the park home run. It is a triple for Carter Schwab. Brady Galligan better step out of the box here and let Schwab catch his breath on third base. Otherwise, it'll be hard to score on the next ball in play. You'll love to see that, ladies and gents. That's the fun of playing here at Target Field. Ruba with the stretch and the pitch. Galligan watches that one up high for a ball. 1-0 count. Ruba will work from the stretch instead of the windup. Some pitchers will elect to go to the windup of runner on third base, but if anything, that'll allow for lesser secondary lead by Schwab. Ruba breaking ball fooled Galligan badly. Galligan was thinking home run left field bleachers, Minnesota Twins style, but pulled the head out there on the curveballs. The count evens 1-1. Hands the belt. Ruba's next offering. Huge cut and a miss by Galligan, and the count now 1-2 strikes. So, all right, Galligan had his 2 big hacks. We'll see if he shortens up here of a 1-2 count against Ruba. And Nick Lear on deck. You need a ball in play here if you're the Golden Bears. Ruba's 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, wave and a miss for strike 3. Galligan had another massive hack there, and Ruba just had his timing off that hole at bat. Did a good job of mixing the breaking ball and the fastball. And Galligan just took 3 humongous swings right there as he is out number 2 of the inning. So it'll be on Nick Lear to try to deliver a 2-out base hit. Lear singled his last time up, but was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. Golden Bears would take that right now because that would tie the game if Lear was able to do that. The right-hander from the front of that box. Lear, little nubber towards the first baseman. It's picked up by Lane. Lane goes to the bag, and a scoring opportunity goes by the wayside for the Golden Bears as Lear grounds out to end the inning. So Schwab gets stranded at third base. 1 hit, no runs, 1 left on. No runs score for Bishop Garrigan as they trail 2-1, moving to the top of 4 from Target Field in Minneapolis and on KLGA Hometown Radio.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Bankin at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
CB Grain Solutions, satisfaction guaranteed.
Dump It, Kasuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Billy Offerman, your State Farm agent in Algona. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Greg Penning and Company, certified public accountants where everyone counts.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
Back here at Target Field as the top of the fourth inning is underway. Clarion-Goldfield-Dows leading Bishop Garrigan at 2-1 on 92.7 KLGA and at the Alberta Radio YouTube stream. Back to work as Garrigan as that ball is rolled first base side, but foul as that was fouled off the batter Owen Sweeney. It is Sweeney, Lane, and Langford for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows this inning. 7, 8, and 9 in the batting order for the Cowboys. 1 run in the second inning, 1 run in the third. Bishop Garrigan scored their lone run in the second inning as they trail 2-1 right now. Garrigan rocks and delivers. And that pitch is downstairs for a ball, evening the count. We're making it a 2-1 count, rather. Both pitchers have battled through some traffic on the base paths, but have minimized the damage to just 1 run in any individual inning as Garrigan's pitch. That one is a fastball that's maybe a bit upstairs, and it's a 3-1 count right now on Sweeney, who was hit by a pitch his last time up. Garrigan works quickly and fires. And that one is a called strike as Sweeney was getting ready to throw the bat and head to first base, but the umpire said that had the black on the inside part of the plate. Count full of 3-2. Garrigan from the center of the rubber brings it. And a swing and a tapper foul behind home plate. Tate Furch dinged on that one as Garrigan went off speed on the full count. It'll stay 3-2. Clarion-Goldfield-Dows last year finished the season of a 12-17 record, playing in the North Central Conference, as that one is tapped foul third base side, and we'll do it again at a 3-2 count. That was their first double-digit win season since going 15-16 in 2013. Pitch again by Garrigan, and that one is a cold strike 3. And Sweeney knew it too. He was starting back to the dugout before that pitch was even across home plate, as Brady Garrigan has strikeout number 3 of his evening. So 1 out, nobody on base. And the batter now for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows is going to be the number 8 hitter, Chaz Lane. A strikeout victim himself his first time up, as Lane takes that one for a called strike 1. We'll see if Garrigan is really starting to work into a better rhythm here and find that plate. The motion and the pitch. Upstairs for a ball, evening the count 1-1. Garrigan winds and fires on the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball in there for a called strike. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. This game turning into a lower scoring affair than the Twins game earlier today as the motion in the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Garrigan puts away Lane, and it's 2 up, 2 down on strikeouts. Cohen Langfit, who grounded out the shortest first time up, stepping in now 0 for 1. Number 9 hitter as Garrigan tries to work the first 1-2-3 inning on either side. The players on both of these teams got to sit and watch probably about the first 7-8 innings of that game between Minnesota and Texas, as Langfit gets tied up on a ball that almost hit him, but he went around it and he swung at it. He's behind at 0-1. Texas today pounding Minnesota 16-3. As there's a swing and a miss. Langfit totally off balance in the batter's box, chased one that was downstairs, and the count 0-2. So Langfit has swung at a pitch that almost hit him. Then he swung at a pitch that was in the left-handed batter's box. And that was one of those swings where I think you're still thinking about that previous pitch that almost hit you, and he went after one that was well out of the zone. Garrigan trying to punch out the side. The motion in the 0-2 pitch. Fouled straight back. Coming in the direction of the press box, but well short of us. As we have a great vantage point here at Target Field. As fun as this is for the players, folks, this is every bit as fun for me, ladies and gents. What a great day. The windup in the pitch by Garrigan. And a swing and a foul tip held onto for strike 3. How did Tate Furch get the glove underneath that one? Brady Garrigan strikes at the side, and the Cowboys are gone quietly in the fourth. They strike out 3 times in a row, and the Golden Bears will bat next, trailing 2-1 on Hometown Radio KLGA and at the Alberta Radio YouTube channel.
More sports club members.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush beats a full house.
Kasuth Regional Health Health Center, your home for health care.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
Reeves Wicked Good Bar and Grill. For wicked good food, drinks, and service, you gotta go to Reeves.
High Point Land Company, your trusted land partner in Algona.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
CB Grain Solutions, satisfaction guaranteed.
Dump It, Kasuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Billy Offerman, your State Farm agent in Algona. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Greg Penning and Company, certified public accountants where everyone counts.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
Hey Golden Bear fans, this is Brady Galgan, and you're listening to Bishop Garrigan Baseball on KLGA.
The Clarion-Goldfield-Dows Cowboys and the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears getting a little taste of the Major League experience here from Target Field in Minneapolis. It's the bottom of the fourth inning as Clarion-Goldfield-Dows leads it 2-1. The batter this inning for Bishop Garrigan will be a pinch hitter as Aiden Deitring was scheduled to bat, but coming off the bench now for the Golden Bears is going to be Nate Learer. Learer, the right-handing sophomore, 1 for 12 at the dish so far this season, as Deitring was a strikeout victim, but replaced here by Learer in the batting order this inning. On deck, it'll be Graves, followed by Moeller. First pitch is a breaking ball that went behind Learer, who barely flinched, and that'll be ball one. Overcast day here in Minneapolis. A little bit breezy. Wind shifting around here, but what a great venue this is. All the new Major League ballparks really are just unbelievable settings for games. As the pitch, there's a roller towards shortstop. Hasty has to field it on the backhand side. He sets, he fires across the diamond. The stretch by lane for the out. Boy, you wondered on this wet field when Hasty planted that back leg to make the long throw if it would slip out from under him, but his foot did hold there, and he got the throw off across the diamond in strong fashion to get Lear for out number one of the inning. Now it's Caden Graves who singled and went to second on an error his last time up. 1 for 1 today. But you've got the T and interlocked C, Twins logo behind home plate. Of course, this cavernous outfield here at Target Field. The windup and the pitch. Graves cuts and misses on the breaking ball there as he was looking fastball and got out in front of it, 0-1. That huge scoreboard out in left center field with the script, or with the Twins in cursive and the underlining underneath it, and then the smaller scoreboard out in right center field. And of course, the teams occupying the Major League dugouts, Cowboys third base side, Golden Bears first base side, as Graves watches that curveball go for a ball, 1-1. And the bullpen in use as well. I'll tell you what, I don't know who that is for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows out there in the bullpen because it's too far for me to see the number, but he's been getting a hefty workload out there throughout this game. The kick and the pitch by Ruba, cut and the miss by Graves. Ruba's had a nice off-speed pitch working here today that has fooled the Golden Bears several times in the count 1-2. Again, strikeouts just such an issue for this Bishop Garrigan offense. An offense that's only hitting .221 this season. 1-2 pitch, and that one is a ball, evening it at 2-2. Now, that number was below 200 late last week, so it's gone up a little bit in recent games, but 221 is still a lot lower than you need to be to play winning baseball at the high school level. The 2-2 pitch. Graves flies that in the air towards left field, and that ball will be caught on the dive in left field. What a grab out there for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows by Morgan. And Graves is out number 2 of the inning. So Graves robbed of a base hit. And that's one of those plays where if that ball gets away, it is rolling for a while, and Graves is probably standing at third base as Drew Moeller will bat. Moeller reached on a single his last time up, an infield single to second base. The windup and the delivery, and Ruba misses up and away for a ball to the left-handed hitting Moeller, 1-0 count. But of course, here at Target Field, you've got a great view of the Minnesota skyline if you're sitting on the third base side, especially in the upper deck. And now in center field, you have those two Twins shaking hands on that big Twins sign. It didn't get to light up today, though. It's that Win Twins sign, and it certainly did not light up after they lost to Texas 16-3 earlier today, but still great for everyone to come here and take in a Major League Baseball game and then play on a Major League Baseball diamond afterwards. There's actually 6 high school games of baseball taking place throughout the summer here at Target Field. This one is the only one involving teams from Iowa, as all the other ones are Minnesota-based teams. Moeller fouls that one off, third base side into the seats, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. But they are spread out throughout the summer, and What a great opportunity for high school players all across this Midwest region to stand where Major League Baseball players stood just earlier today. Ruba with the shimmy and the 1-2 offering. Down and away for a ball. Good take there by Moeller, and the count evens at 2-2. Thad Kolash on deck for Bishop Garrigan. Tate Furch in the hole. 2 outs, nobody on, and the Golden Bears down 2-1 here on what's been another slow offensive night. The 2-2 by Ruba. Off the inside corner as Moeller turns away from it, and the count runs full at 3-2. In fact, some of the best at-bats have come from hitters 7, 8, and 9 in the batting order of Graves, Moeller, and Kolash thus far in the ballgame. Not a whole lot elsewhere, though. Here's the windup. The 3-2 delivery. Breaking ball outside for ball 4 as Moeller draws the walk. I will point out, there's no extreme shifts anymore in Major League Baseball, but Clarion-Goldfield-Dows in this game has about as close to as an extreme shift as you'll see for Moeller, who now has walked, but they had their shortstop, Hasty, pretty much playing maybe one step to the shortstop side of the second base bag. They nearly had 3 infielders on that right side, expecting a pulled ground ball by Moeller, but Moeller walks, and he's on for the second time today as Thad Kolash bats. He walked his first time up. Ruba off the slide step in the pitch as Kolash flares that first base side into the seating area. And it's an 0-1 count on the number 9 hitter for Bishop Garrigan. The previous inning when Bishop Garrigan scored, there were 2 outs and nobody on base. And it all started when the number 7 hitter, Caden Graves, got on. Then Moeller singled. Kolash walked. And during that sequence, a wild pitch brought home the only run of the day for Bishop Garrigan. So we'll see if they can once again get something going here of 2 outs after what appeared to be a quiet inning was underway. And some words being exchanged between Coach Meister and Thad Kolash down on the third base side. As Kolash, down to the count 0-1, will step back into the box. 2 outs, 1 on. Bishop Garrigan trailing 2-1 against Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. Ruba from the stretch, pick off to first base, and that one was thrown wide of the bag. Nice play by Lane to stretch out there and make sure that didn't get thrown away to move Moeller up to second. And still an 0-1 count. Ruba looks towards first base and pulls the trigger on the 0-1 pitch. Inside is that'll back Kolash off the plate, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Ruba has that big, slow breaking ball that has been a strike most of the night, and the Golden Bears have had trouble with. That's another off-speed pitch, but that one had a little more velocity to it. Might have been a changeup there, hard to tell from up here, but he has a couple different off-speed offerings he can bring as Ruba pitches, and that one is flied in the air, shallow right field. That is dropping in a hurry, but out is the second baseman, Kakosik, well out onto the outfield grass to make the running grab. That ball looked like a blooper for Kolash, set to drop in, but instead Kakosik makes a nice running grab, and the inning is over. Bishop Garrigan does not score as they strand a runner at first base. It stays 2-1 Clarion-Goldfield-Dows, moving to the top of the 5th on Hometown Radio KLGA and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
Hey Golden Bear fans, this is Tate Furch, and you're listening to Bishop Garrigan Baseball on KLGA.
Clarion-Goldfield-Dows 2, Bishop Garrigan 1 as we move to the top of the 5th inning from Target Field in Minneapolis. This inning, it'll be back to the top of the batting order with Tristan Kakosik, Jacob Ruba, and Paxton Lingenfelter, the scheduled hitters for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. Brady Galligan, in his last inning of work, struck out the side as Galligan working with 5 punch-outs so far in this ball game. But Kakosik today is 1 for 2 as Kakosik singled in the first inning and grounded out to second base during the second inning. Cowboys up by 1 over the Golden Bears as Galligan goes to the windup and delivers and burns the fastball over the plate for a called strike, 0-1. So glad to get this game in here from Target Field. We played the top of the first inning, then had a rain delay, and then resumed after that as that ball is hit in the air towards left field. That is near the line, and that one is trouble. It is down for a base hit in fair territory. Kolash sprinting and cuts it off. The throw towards second base, not in time, but even though the throw wasn't in time, Kolash had an incredible sprint to get to that ball and prevent it from rolling into the left field corner. Kolash on the dead run backhanded that one and got it back to the infield. That gets through into the left field corner. Kakosik might have it inside the park home run. That's one of those plays that may go overlooked in this game, but Kolash had to cover an incredible amount of ground, kind of like he was running the 800 meters in track and field to get to that ball. But Kakosik now 2 for 3 as Jacob Ruba bats. Ruba bunts and he pops with the bunt. Galligan off the mound. He dives and he makes the catch. Brady Galligan, diving grab, sliding on the grass third base side, and popping out of the bunt is Jacob Ruba as he cannot move the runner over. Galligan read that perfectly, grabbed it on the dead sprint. And fortunately for the Cowboys, Kakosik read that as well at second base, because sometimes on a play like that, a bunt gets popped up, the runner's too far off, and he can get doubled off without tagging up. But Kakosik did a good job of seeing that bunt would be popped up. Schwab, the first baseman, in shallow for Paxton Lingenfelter. Lingenfelter takes that one down below the strike zone for a ball, as Lingenfelter doubled his first time up, and he would line out to right field his second time up. Kakosik at second base. 2-1 Cowboys trying to tag on here. Pick off to second base. Another set play there for the Golden Bears with Mice, the shortstop, in sort of an odd shift covering that bag, but Kakosik able to get back in. Outfield is towards right center field for Lingenfelter. Remembering that ball hit to the right field side his last time up, as it'll spray it towards second base. Gloves by Graves. Routine throw to first base in time for the out, as Kakosik moves to third, but now 2 away. So we'll see if Galligan's able to work around another base runner here, as the number 4 hitter, Ethan Hasty, stands in. Hasty was hit by a pitch his first time up. RBI double his second time around. Here from Target Field in Minneapolis. And Lingenfelter just getting back to the dugout here as Galligan was ready to pitch, with the umpire said, hold on, let's get everyone off the field here first. Pitches a breaking ball inside corner for a called strike, 0-1 count. But a great venue here. Great view here on the Algona Radio YouTube stream from the Minnesota Twins press box, as that one is sprayed foul first base side. For you Golden Bear fans who have listened to a lot of broadcasts, you are all fully aware that the Minnesota Twins did not do any background checks on me before letting me up here in the press box. I'll let all of you decide what that means, but some of you may already know, as that pitch is ball 1. 1-2 count here from Galligan. Galligan to the motion of the 1-2 pitch. Flared first base side, Schwab giving it a look, and Schwab dives, but he can't quite get to it. That ball did not have a whole lot of air underneath it, and Schwab on a dead sprint in the foul territory, laid out but couldn't grab it. There's been a lot of sprinting today for Carter Schwab. Had a triple into the gap here at Target Field that rolled all the way to the fence. And then a dead sprint into the foul territory here at the Major League Diamond as well. Galligan's 1-2 again, and he swing, and they miss for strike 3. He had Hasty reaching for a breaking ball that was down and away, and the runner is stranded at third base. That is 6 Ks by Galligan. The Golden Bears will bat, trailing 2-1 as he moves to the bottom of the 5th on Hometown Radio KLGA and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Central Financial Group, where you belong.
Down to Earth Tree Service, your local Algona Tree Service.
Styles Salon, your salon in Algona. Create yourself.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Holmes Animal Clinic, animals large and small. They love them all.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
All bringing you this ball game.
We've got more sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
TAFE Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong, keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
Lichter's Garage Door Service and new installations. A reputation you can trust. Call 515-295-5988.
Ed Service Station. Service you can trust.
J&J Custom Meats, continuing the traditions in Whittemore.
Ulrich Construction. Let them do the work.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Hard to believe, but we are already heading to the bottom of the 5th inning from Target Field in Minneapolis. It's been a surreal experience here for everyone at this Major League Baseball diamond, and we are already here in the bottom of the 5th as Bishop Garrigan trails Clarion-Goldfield-Dows 2-1. But the Golden Bears this inning will have 1, 2, and 3 with Tate Furch, Dan Mice, and Carter Schwab against Jacob Ruba. Ruba, the freshman, has pitched excellently here today as he winds and delivers, but he misses outside for a ball. 1-0 count on Tate Furch. Furch has hit a couple of balls weakly into foul territory for outs thus far in this ball game. Couple foul pop outs. Ruba with the next offering. Furch rolls the breaking ball towards second base. It is bobbled at second base. The throw to first base back. Kakosik not in time as Furch beats it out. Want to play like that. Furch has too much speed, especially with Kokosik not charging that ball. He waited for the ball to get to him, and then when he bobbled it, there was no chance to get Tate Furch. So a break for the Golden Bears, as it'll be a runner at first base on the E4, and Dan Meiss will be the batter. Unofficially, first error of the game for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. Actually, beg your pardon, second error of the game for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. As aboard first base is Furch with a pretty healthy lead. Ruba from the stretch fires the pickoff over as he agreed it was a healthy lead, but back into the dive is Furch. Meiss with a single and a pop up to the shortstop thus far today. Golden Bears trying to wake up the bats. They had 4 hits in the first 2 innings. They've had 1 hit since that time. Furch inching off the bag. The look towards first base by Ruba. And the next pitch is Furch is stealing. And it's a hit and run as Meiss pops it up first base side. Furch better get back, but that ball drops in foul territory. That ball didn't have a whole lot of elevation to it as the first baseman Lane couldn't get to it. But that's the danger of a hit and run. What you're hoping for as a baseball coach, and you call that as a ground ball that's hit to the right side, because you're hoping the second baseman is there covering the bag on the steal by the runner, and there's a wide open gap for the batter to hit to. But the danger is if that ball gets popped up or hit in the air, it could quickly turn into a double play. But those hit and runs are designed to manipulate the defense and get everyone moving when the ball's being hit. Furch not going, Meiss bunts it, and it's a beauty third base side. Barehand grab by Ruba, throw to first base is high, and it pulls Lane off the bag. Meiss is safe at first. We'll give him a bunt single on that, folks, because that was just such a perfect bunt. But Ruba had his foot slip on the grass there. He couldn't set himself the way he wanted to, and that's why that throw was high. That back foot slipped as he was making the throw, and the Golden Bears have the door cracked wide open here. It'll be a mound visit now for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. They'll gather at the old saloon there on the pitching rubber, and the Golden Bears have first and second, nobody out, and Carter Schwab, the number 3 hitter, who hit a booming double into the right center field gap, a line drive double, as a light rain is starting to fall once again here at Target Field. I should beg your pardon, it was a triple last time for Schwab. I'm trying to take away 90 feet of hard work there that he was doing in his last at-bat, but he's 1 for 2 today. Light rain here as Jacob Ruba is going to be removed from the ball game. And a new pitcher coming in for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. A long run in from that bullpen, just to the left of that 411-foot sign in dead center. So we'll take a timeout. We'll tell you about the new pitcher coming up next after this on KLGA and the Elgato Radio YouTube channel.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Central Financial Group, where you belong.
Down to Earth Tree Service, your local Algona Tree Service.
Styles Salon, your salon in Algona. Create yourself.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Holmes Animal Clinic, animals large and small. They love them all.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
All bringing you this ball game.
We've got more sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
TAFE Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong, keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
Lichter's Garage Door Service and new installations. A reputation you can trust. Call 515-295-5988.
Ed Service Station. Service you can trust.
J&J Custom Meats, continuing the traditions in Whittemore.
Ulrich Construction. Let them do the work.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Jacob Ruba is done on the pitch mound after just over 4 innings. He worked into the 5th, but he did not get an out as the Golden Bears put 2 runners on base, one via an error and one by an infield bunt single. And now Caleb Sweeney will take over, the right-handed freshman. So it's freshman passing the baton to freshman for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. Cowboys up 2-1, but Carter Schwab, the dangerous left-handed hitter, standing in as he rips that one into right field again. There it goes, and that one will go over everyone's head. It'll roll to the fence. Furch will jog home, chugging around third base is Meiss. He is right behind him. Schwab is going to third again. The relay to third base. The throw is high. Can Schwab get back up and go home? He will stop at third. Carter Schwab, his second triple of the game. Do you believe that, folks? 3-2 Bishop Garrigan. Schwab has attacked early in the count, and both of those were rip jobs to right field on a line. First one was a liner to the right center field gap. This one was a liner over the head of Clarion-Goldfield-Dows' right fielder, Lingenfelter. And just like that, this game has changed entirely. All 3 of those runs are the responsibility of starting pitcher Jacob Ruba, but only 2 out of those 3 runs were earned. Sweeney from the stretch, kicks and delivers, and there's a big cut and miss by Galligan. Well, Galligan's done a great job on the pitching mound today, but at the plate, he has been swinging out of his shoes thus far. Garrigan from the back of that right-handed box, hitting out of a square stance, down 0-1 on the count. Outside, it gets away from Lingenfelter behind home plate. Here comes Schwab again, barreling home, and he slides in head first. 4-2, Bishop Garrigan. What an inning. And it was all cracked open by the air to start things off. It is 4-2 Golden Bears as Schwab comes home to score. What a day by Carter Schwab. A 2-run triple, his second triple of the game, and then scoring on a wild pitch as Garrigan has the lead, 4-2. Bottom half of 5 is it's a 1-1 count now to Galligan. Sweeney with the kick and the pitch. Galligan flies that one in the air left center field. Fairly deep, but plenty of room out there for Morgan to make the grab for the Cowboys and record out number 1 of the inning as Galligan is sat down. Well, we were about to talk about Clarion-Goldfield-Dows' pitching, and Jacob Ruba did a nice job here today. An excellent job by Ruba, and he was replaced by Sweeney. Sweeney with a 4.07 ERA on the season. Cowboys as a team, believe it or not, have a 6.90 ERA, but you wouldn't know it with the way that Ruba pitched today. Although now, it is 4-2 Bishop Garrigan for a 3 spot here in the bottom of the 5th as Lear rips that one down the third base line, nearly took out the umpire who jumped over the ball as that one is foul. Of course, we don't just have one field umpire today. We have the home plate umpire plus 1 umpire at each base, so it really is just like a major league game here at Target Field in this one. Normally in our high school games back on the Iowa Diamonds, you have your home plate umpire and then just the 1 field umpire who would stand somewhere around second base in his bases empty situation. Lear taking that one down and away for a ball to even the count 1-1. But here, Target Field, it's an umpire at each base. The rain is picking up a little bit here, but not enough to stop this game. Sweeney with the stretch and the 1-1. Lear watching, and that one down for a ball, 2-1 count. The other thing to keep in mind, and frankly, I'm not sure how the rain delay impacted this, there is supposed to be a 2-hour time limit on this ball game. Here's the kick and the 2-1 pitch. And that pitch outside corner called strike, 2-2 count. And we would be pretty close to 2 hours here if the game hadn't been interrupted. But again, folks, I don't have the details on how the rain delay impacts that, if at all. So we may be nearing the end here at some point, even if we don't play a full 7. Sweeney's 2-2 pitch. Outside, that one was in the left-handed batter's box and bounced in. Count full on Lear, 3-2. In any case, though, Bishop Garrigan has struck just in the nick of time as some of the fans are heading towards the concourse to get a little coverage here from the rain. The full count offering to Lear, and Lear flies that in the air. Medium deep left field near the line. Morgan battling the rain. He comes in and he makes the grab. Almost didn't get there, but able to retire Lear on the fly out to left. And that is 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th for the Golden Bears. And Deitring will be the batter now for the Golden Bears. Deitring struck out in his only plate appearance thus far in the ball game as he re-enters now in the batting order. He was hit for by Nate Lear last time up. Sweeney with the kick and the pitch, and Deitring strike 1 there, tied up on the swing. Inside part of the zone by Sweeney. 4-2 Bishop Garrigan. Cowboys scoring 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 3rd. Golden Bears 1 in the 2nd and now 3 here in the 5th. Sweeney hands at the chest, high kick and the pitch, and skips that one in and outside for a ball. Down on the dirt as the count now 2-1 on Deitring. Graves on deck for the Golden Bears, trying to beat Clarion-Goldfield-Dows just as they did in 2022 at Principal Park, although much tighter game today. As Deitring flies that one in the air, left field, Morgan coming in a couple of steps, has it measured and makes the grab. So 3 outs in a row and fly outs to left fielder, but the important thing has already happened for Bishop Garrigan, and that is they have grabbed the lead. Carter Schwab, the 2-run triple, the highlight of this inning. Golden Bears out a run on a wild pitch, and they now lead it 4-2 over Clarion-Goldfield-Dows on Hometown Radio KLGA and at the Algona Radio YouTube live stream.
For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com.
We will enter the 6th inning here in Minneapolis as Bishop Garrigan has a 4-2 lead over Clarion-Goldfield-Dows, and Brady Galligan goes back to work. The book is now closed on Cowboys starting pitcher Jacob Ruba. He goes 4+ innings tonight as he allows 6 hits, gave up 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. He walked 2 batters, he struck out 3 and gave up those 6 hits to the Golden Bears. And Caleb Sweeney came on in relief during that 5th inning. Well, the batters this inning for the Cowboys, Colton Hefty, Huxley Lingenfelter, and Owen Sweeney, as the pitch is waved at and missed by Hefty for strike 1. Over 2 today's Hefty with a strikeout on a fly out to center field. As the rain has lightened up here, looked like it was going to pick up there for a second, but has gotten light once again. Galligan is able to paint the zone that time to make the count 0-2. Now, this field did already take on a lot of water earlier, so there's not a whole lot of margin for error as times called at home plate. The home plate umpire was not ready yet for that pitch. He had not given the ready to go. And some discussion here of Coach Meister asking what this is all about. But out of the box and getting ready to step back in is Hefty here for an 0-2 count. But these teams making unforgettable memories here at Target Field. Like we said, these teams played at Principal Park in a 12-1 Bishop Garrigan win in 2022. As Galligan's 0-2, waved at and missed for strike 3. He powered Hefty away with his 7th K of the ball game, and that is out number 1 of the inning. Both these coaches really do like to give their players these opportunities to play games at unique venues. Of course, last year, Bishop Garrigan played at the Rippey Baseball Diamond, one of those historic baseball diamonds in the state of Iowa. They played against Pleasantville in that game. Galligan's first offering to Lingenfelter, and Lingenfelter chased the one that was down and out of the zone for strike 1. Clarion-Goldfield-Dows, they played at the Field of Dreams baseball field. As the motion in the pitch, that one is flied in the air towards right field. Moeller covering ground and making the catch for out number 2 of the inning. But a couple years ago, the Cowboys, they played amongst the cornstalks in the Field of Dreams game. And that must have been an incredible memory as well. If you ask, would you rather play Target Field or at the Field of Dreams field? I'd say they're saying both, but those are some incredible memories that these guys will have from Principal Park, for the Cowboys, the Field of Dreams game, for both these teams, Target Field. A lot of unique venues played at by these teams over the past few seasons. Galligan works quickly. His 0-1 offering right over the plate for a called strike to Owen Sweeney. And Sweeney down on the count 0-2. Galligan has gotten in a great rhythm the past couple of innings. He's under control but fast. 0-2 pitch. Down and away for a ball, 1-2 count. Early in the game, he was just a little too sped up. The adrenaline of playing at the home of the Minnesota Twins was maybe present for Galligan on the mound, but the past couple of innings, he's gotten things really locked in. 1-2 pitch. That ball's ripped. Deep left field. Down the line it goes. That one is just foul. Oh, Sweeney throws his head in the air as he was 3/4 of the way to first base. That ball had a triple into the left field corner written all over it, but it was just fouled down the left field line. If this game was being played at Bishop Garrigan High School, that ball might have one-hopped to the fence. It would have been foul. Foul is foul, but that's how deep that ball would have been on a high school diamond. But with that 339 down the left field line, Sweeney was not going to quite touch that, but it could have been a triple into the gap if that had been fair. The 1-2 pitch, and that one close. Close but out of the zone, and Sweeney takes it. Count evens at 2-2. The next pitch by Galligan. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. He retires Owen Sweeney, and down 1-2-3 go the Cowboys. It is 4-2 in favor of Bishop Garrigan here at Target Field in Minneapolis as Brady Galligan pitching a gem right now for the Golden Bears. We'll come back after this on Hometown Radio KLGA and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
More sports club members.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush beats a full house.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for health care.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
Reeves Wicked Good Bar and Grill, for wicked good food, drinks, and service, you gotta go to Reeves.
High Point Land Company, your trusted land partner in Algona.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
CB Grain Solutions, satisfaction guaranteed.
Dump It, Kasuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Billy Offerman, your State Farm agent in Algona. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Greg Penning and Company, certified public accountants where everyone counts.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
Hey Golden Bear fans, this is Carter Schwab, and you're listening to Bishop Garrigan Baseball on KLGA.
Carter Schwab with a couple of triples so far. He's driven in 2 runs, and Brady Galligan crafting a gem on the pitching mound as Bishop Garrigan leads Clarion-Goldfield-Dows 4-2, moving to the bottom half of the 6th inning. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 with Graves, Moeller, and Kolash for the Golden Bears. They will face Caleb Sweeney, who's on for his 2nd inning of relief, as Sweeney was responsible for 1 out of the 4 runs that have scored thus far. Jacob Ruba, the starter, on the hook for the loss if the Cowboys can't rally. But it's the bottom of the 6th. The pitch by Sweeney, and Graves cutting and missing on the first offering, 0-1. Don't want to jinx anything because there is still a light rain falling, very light. But it does look like we're going to get this one in. Golden Bears will bat here in the bottom of the 6th, and then the Cowboys will have their last chance in the top of the 7th, as that one is down and away for a ball. Both these teams have their pitchers working quickly and in a good rhythm, and this game's had a nice flow to it from Target Field once the jitters got out of the way early on. It's looked like a pretty normal baseball game in spite of the venue that it's been played at. That pitch is the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 1-2 now to Caden Graves. Graves singled his first time up, flew out to left his second time. 1-2 pitch. Graves rips a line drive into left field, and that'll be a base hit. Nice day put on thus far by Caden Graves at the number 7 spot. And like we said earlier, if you get Caden Graves starting to hit, that really adds some depth to your lineup as he's on base for the 2nd time today. So runner at first base, nobody out. And Drew Moeller, who's been on twice, also having a nice day for the Golden Bears. He has singled and he has walked. And that's the job, 7, 8, 9. You're saying competitive at-bats, make the pitcher work, and get on base when you can as Moeller hits up towards the front of that left-handed box. The pitch to the Bishop Garrigan senior, Moeller swinging to bunt, and the pitch gets away. It goes to the backstop, and up to second base, scampers Graves. The pitch went off the glove of Lingenfelter behind home plate, and now Moeller will be trying to bunt the runner to third base instead of trying to bunt the runner to second. He did pull the bat back, so that's a 1-0 count on the Bishop Garrigan senior. In this duel between the Cowboys and the Golden Bears, 4-2 Bishop Garrigan, 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Sweeney with the stretch. And the pitch, Moeller bunting, and it's out in front of home plate. It's a beauty. Grabbed bare hand by the third baseman, and he throws it away. It's thrown up the first base line. Here comes Caden Graves, and he will score. Moeller is heading to second base. And a defensive miscue by the Cowboys gives Bishop Garrigan a 5-2 lead. Owen Sweeney, the third baseman, knew he had to rush because that was a perfect bunt laid down by Moeller. The barehanded grab was made, but the throw went up the first base line, and in this Major League ballpark, the players will run for a while when that happens and the throw gets away. So the E5, third error of the game by the Cowboys, gives Bishop Garrigan the 5-2 lead as Thad Kolash will bat. Big insurance run there for the Golden Bears. Sweeney from the mound. Looks back towards second base, kicks and delivers. Caleb Sweeney misses upstairs for a ball. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes on Kolash, who showed bunt. Owen Sweeney, the third baseman, certainly prepared for the bunt as he's even with the bag and ready to charge in if Kolash squares again. Outfield fairly deep here, trying to keep everything in front. Caleb Sweeney looks towards second. The freshman fires. Kolash squares. He pulls it back, and that is a called strike. Delayed call there as the pitch grazed the outside corner. 1-1. 5-2 Bishop Garrigan now here from Target Field. A cooler breeze starting to blow in. Definitely not your traditional baseball night with sunny skies and sunsets and 80-degree temperatures, but everyone thankful just to get this game in after the ring-in we had earlier as Kolash fouls off the bunt. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. My only question is, did they leave the concession stands open for this game? What kind of grub are the fans in the seats eating, or did they get to chow down on during that rain delay earlier in the ball game? Here's the set by Sweeney, hands letter high. High kick and the pitch. And Kolash pops that one in the air towards second base. Gakosik backpedaling, called up by the shortstop Hasty, who puts it away for out number 1 of the inning. Kolash retired on that middle infield pop, and Moeller will have to stay put at second base as the top of the order coming up to the plate of Tate Furch. The inning started when Tate Furch reached in the 5th on an E4. The ball was bobbled at second base, and Furch got on base, and that ignited the 3-run inning by Bishop Garrigan that gave them a 4-2 lead that has now grown to 5-2. Furch, though, still looking for that first hit. Sweeney with the delivery. And that ball misses outside, 1-0 count. That catcher's roll, though. Perfect for Tate Furch. That's always a big assignment. not only offensively but defensively. Leadoff hitter for the Golden Bears, tone setter, and then you're really a tone setter behind the plate defensively as well. You're calling out where the ball's supposed to go on a given play, especially if one goes to the outfield. This Furch flies that one in the air. Shallow outfield, out as the shortstop, Hasty onto the grass, and he will make the grab. It's been a quiet day at the plate so far for Furch, who is 0-for-4 now, with that only on-base appearance being reaching via an error, as he's retired on the pop-out. So Mahler still standing at second base, and Dan Mice, who is 2-for-3, now standing in for the Golden Bears. Outfield straight up and still relatively deep for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. A ball hit to the shallow outfield here that gets over the infield will almost certainly result in a run, especially if 2 outs and Mahler moving on contact. Sweeney for the look towards second base, and the delivery. First pitch swinging is Mice, and he gets that one hard to center field, but right into the tracks of the center fielder Langfit, and he makes the grab for out number 3 of the inning. The Golden Bears do add an insurance run, though, and it's last chance time now for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. Top of the 7th coming up next, 5-2 Bishop Garrigan on Hometown Radio and the Algona Radio YouTube channel.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Good Samaritan Society, Algona's senior housing and services rooted in God's love.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, Algona's locally owned coffee shop.
Tangle Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping, 515-320-3840.
All bringing you this ball game.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Binkin at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
Well, take a good look, folks, because you might not be seeing this view for long of the way Brady Garrigan is pitching. It's the top of the 7th as Clarion-Goldfield-Dows has one final opportunity. Hitters 8, 9, and 1 in the batting order due up with Chaz Lane, Cohen Langfit, and Tristan Kokosik. This has been such a fun day for everyone. It's almost sad that this game is almost over, but everything good ends at some point, as does this game. And Bishop Garrigan hoping to end it quickly here in the top of the 7th, leading 5-2. The first pitch to Lane. That'll back him up off the plate a little bit, as Lane was hugging the inside part of that plate. And that pitch inside for a ball, 1-0 count. Garrigan of 8 Ks so far as Bishop Garrigan senior motions and delivers. And that breaking ball did not come back over the inside corner. It stayed in, and the count 2-0 on Lane, who has struck out twice against Garrigan. Golden Bears thus far unofficially 5 runs on 8 hits. They've left 6 on base as Lane hits that one foul, left field side, and count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Had a good healthy hack at that one. But everyone's going to head back here and have another game tomorrow as Algona will play against, or Bishop Garrigan, that is, will play against West Hancock after heading back to Algona tonight. Clarion-Goldfield-Dows will head back to the regular schedule tomorrow as well as that ball is popped in the air. Shallow right field, out is Graves, the second baseman, and ball's in no man's land. Sliding in is Lear to make the grab. That ball was in a triangle between the right fielder Mahler, the center fielder Lear, and the second baseman Graves, and Lear took charge at the last second and saved Bishop Garrigan of what would have been a bad error to start the inning. Lane retired on the pop out to right center field. What a play by Nick Lear, taking charge of that one. So 1 out, nobody on base. Cowboys, though, like we said, they'll be back to their regular schedule tomorrow as they'll take on St. Edmund from the Harlan Rogers Sports Complex. There's a dribbler back to the mound on the first pitch. Langfit retired at first base on the flip by Garrigan. Or check that, the pinch hitter, Tate Jackson, as Jackson was batting for Langfit there and comes right off the bench, grounding out to the pitcher, 1-3 in your scorebook. Final chance for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows and the chance for Bishop Garrigan to hammer down a major win with Tristan Kokosik batting. Kokosik has been the toughest out thus far for the Golden Bears to get. Singled his first time up, grounded out to second base his second time around, and then doubled in the 5th inning. 2 for 3 thus far tonight for the Cowboy leadoff hitter. Well, this game is fun no matter what team you are on or what the score is, but it's that much more fun if you can clean up and get a win. And I wonder if Garrigan might be getting to the pitch count limit here because Deitring is coming into behind home plate, and I think that means Furch is going to go to the mound. So Garrigan must be hitting the amount of pitches that Bishop Garrigan wanted for him here today. Or no, check that. This is actually going to be Bishop Garrigan emptying out their bench and getting everyone a chance to play target field. What a good move here by Coach Meister. They're going to give so many guys an opportunity to play in this game now. Brad Meister's heading out to center field. Henry Bodie's going to right for the Golden Bears. They are emptying out the bench here as they'll try to nail down this win, but get other guys involved in the ball game. Alec Deitring heading to behind home plate. So Galligan will get a chance to try to finish this one off. So everyone getting a chance to get in on the action. Try to get the last out here, and everyone gets a chance to say, or at least many players get a chance to say they got a chance to step on target field and play in a Major League diamond. Galligan working here to Kokosik, and that pitch outside, just off the plate for a ball, 1-0 count. So Kokosik bats, 2 outs, nobody on base for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows here in the top of the 7th inning. The motion in the pitch, that is upstairs for a ball, and it's a 1-0 count. Sorry, folks, I'll give you a further rundown of the lineup, but they don't have it listed anywhere on the scoreboard, and it's too far away for me to see these small jersey numbers, but I got who I could get. Kokosik check swing. He definitely went around there, and that's a strike. 2-1 count from Galligan, who got off the nice breaking pitch. But just know, if you are a Golden Bear fan here, a lot of different players get to be represented today on the diamond. Galligan for the motion in the 2-1 pitch. Outside as he bounced it in there, and the count goes 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, if you're Kokosik, you can't get all 3 runs back in one swing, but you can start to put a little pressure on here by getting on base against Galligan. The wind in the 3-1 pitch. And it missed down and away for ball 4, so Kokosik does draw the walk. And the tying run will be in the on-deck circle for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows. They'll still need to get one more man on base in order to bring the tying run to the plate, as Caleb Sweeney will bat. So now the Golden Bears are going to bring their regular lineup back in, as everyone who is a reserve is going to go back to the bench. But they all got a chance to play in the ball game here today, which is a great thing to do. So regular lineup coming back in here. And the two coaches talking over the lineups here behind home plate. And Galligan will get ready to go back to work. So that's the only thing that slowed Brady Galligan down, the substitutions made here, because he's been working in a great rhythm, throwing quickly, and really the last few innings throwing strikes. As the batter will be Sweeney. Now, Owen Sweeney's the number 7 batter in the order, but Caleb Sweeney replaced the starting pitcher Jacob Ruba, so this is his first at-bat of the game. First pitch delivered. Strike 1 from Brady Galligan. Runner on first base, 2 away from target field in Minneapolis, as Bishop Garrigan is trying to nail down a 5-2 win. Galligan stretching the pitch. Sweeney watches that one, grazed the outside corner for a strike. 0-2. Cowboys down to the last out. Bishop Garrigan trying to go the distance behind Galligan. The senior stretches and delivers. Off the outside corner for a ball. Good take there by Sweeney. Paxton Lingenfelter due up next for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows as Galligan tries to work the complete game masterpiece. 5-2 Bishop Garrigan. Runner at first, 2 outs. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did! That is strike 3, and a major victory today for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. They knock the Clarion-Goldfield-Dows Cowboys off their saddle and win this one 5-2 tonight behind a gem by Brady Galligan. Galligan goes the distance. He strikes out 9 batters, and the Golden Bears improve their record to 7-4. Cowboys will drop to 6-10. This game comes to an end from target field. An incredible experience for everyone involved, and it ends in a win for Bishop Garrigan as well as the Golden Bears celebrate in front of the first base dugout. So with the win, like we said, Golden Bears will move to 7-4 on the season and starting to play some better baseball here. Cowboys will drop to 6-10. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back to wrap it up on KLGA and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream after these messages.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Central Financial Group, where you belong.
Down to Earth Tree Service, your local Algona tree service.
Styles Salon, your salon in Algona. Create yourself.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Holmes Animal Clinic, animals large and small. They love them all.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
All bringing you this ball game.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Good Samaritan Society, Algona's senior housing and services rooted in God's love.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, Algona's locally owned coffee shop.
Tangle Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping, 515-320-3840.
All bringing you this ball game.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
AK's Chrome Kitchen. When you come in, your family.
Farmers State Bank is proud to be part of our community. Offices in Algona, Whittemore, and West Bend.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Bill's Auto and Truck Repair. Service is the difference.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Oak Crest Funeral Services, celebrating a life lived.
All bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Signworks Inc. For all your signage needs and printed apparel, stop in or call 295-9544.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new and used vehicle needs.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country, carrying steel and Toro products and Green Mountain pellet grills.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
Well, folks, the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears are going to ride off into the sunset with a 5-2 win over the Clarion-Goldfield-Dows Cowboys here on Hometown Radio KLGA and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream from Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, for you folks watching on the video stream and saying, hey, it looks like they're still playing baseball right now, what's going on? What appears happened is that the coaches conferred after the game ended with a 5-2 Bishop Garrigan win, and they're going to play an inning here of some JV ball, get those guys in on the field and get some action. So they'll play a little inning or two maybe of JV ball. I would imagine probably just one inning, maybe even just this half inning, but they'll get some JV guys who didn't get a chance to play in the varsity game, just an opportunity to play here on the Target Field baseball diamond. So they'll do that in the background, but while they do that, we'll start to wrap things up here and tell you folks how tonight went down in case you missed the game or tuned in late. Well, at first we were very worried that this game wasn't even going to happen because there was some rain in the forecast. We didn't know if it would rain or not during the game. And, of course, you had the Twins game ahead of us that had to get played. And the Twins game got in. We got ready for the high school baseball game. And we played the first half inning. And after that, the rain started coming down in a steady fashion. So we had to go into a rain delay. Oh, I'm not sure how long, but maybe about 30, 45 minutes, something along that line. And eventually the rain lightened up a little bit. There was still mist falling, but the Minnesota Twins grounds crew, they did a fantastic job. And again, folks, they had to work the regular baseball game too, the Major League game earlier today, so they essentially had to work twice as long as they normally do, but they did a heroic job getting this field ready. It took on a good amount of water during that time, and they just put a ton of drying agent out there on the field. You could see everyone out there with the rakes if you're watching on our YouTube stream, just trying to smooth things out, patch up the ground, and evaluate if it was safe to play a baseball game on here at Target Field. But it was, and Bishop Garrigan and Clarion-Goldfield-Dows ultimately would get their game in. And the first thing is just a big thank you to the Minnesota Twins grounds crew, because they did not have to put in the effort they did, but they put in a huge effort to make sure these young men would get the opportunity to get this game in today. So that is the first and most important thing. After that, though, the game resumed, and Bishop Garrigan ultimately won this game by a final count of 5-2. Now, early on, it looked like it would be a pitcher's duel where Clarion-Goldfield-Dows would come out on top as Bishop Garrigan left some runners on base early on, and their offense was befuddled by the starting pitcher, Jacob Ruba, who threw 4 innings for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows today, but the door got cracked open in the 5th. Tate Furch got on via an error. Then Dan Meister bunt single on a play that, frankly, could have been made by Clarion-Goldfield-Dows but wasn't. And those plays that could have been made but weren't ultimately cost the Cowboys as Carter Schwab boomed a 2-run triple, his second triple of the ball game, and that allowed Bishop Garrigan to take a lead that they would not relinquish to win this one 5-2. Looking at a few unofficial final numbers for this game, for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears, it was 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and 6 left on base. for the Clarion-Goldfield-Dows Cowboys. 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors, and 5 left on base. And again, your final score in this one, 5-2 in favor of Bishop Garrigan as the Golden Bears move to 7-4. Cowboys will fall to 6-10. Looking at a few more stats, Brady Galligan today went the distance, and he overcame some early issues in the ball game, maybe a little amped up, few control issues early in the game, worked around some early base runners, but ultimately he was outstanding over the final innings. It looked like the first 3 innings that Galligan threw and the final 4 innings he threw were totally different. I don't know what clicked between the 3rd and the 4th, but after that point, he really got locked in. Galligan finished the game 7 innings pitched, struck out 9, walked 2. He allowed 5 hits and 2 runs and gets the win for Bishop Garrigan with the complete game. Jacob Ruba takes the loss, although it wasn't entirely his fault. The defense definitely did not help him out in that 5th inning, and frankly, Ruba pitched well enough to win this ballgame for Clarion-Goldfield-Dows, but he will take the loss. 4 innings pitched for Ruba, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. He gave up 6 hits and allowed 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. Caleb Sweeney pitched the final innings for the Cowboys. He was responsible for the other 2 runs scored by Bishop Garrigan. As we said, a couple of offensive highlights in this ball game. Dan Meister had a 2-hit game for the Golden Bears as he finished 2 for 4 at the plate. Carter Schwab, though, certainly offensive player of the game in this one. Schwab, 2 runs driven in, a couple of triples in the ball game, and a good all-around game by the Bishop Garrigan Jr. Carter Schwab. Towards the bottom of the lineup, Drew Muller was on board 3 times today. He was 1 for 2 as he singled, walked, and reached via an error. Caden Graves got on twice as well. He finished 2 for 3 at the dish. And overall, you started to see a little more productivity from the bottom of the lineup for Bishop Garrigan, which was certainly a good sign and something that you wanted to see here. And also importantly, the strikeouts were down as well. Bishop Garrigan only struck out 2 times in this game, and if you were around for the pregame interview with Coach Meister, he mentioned that the strikeouts are just way too high early in the season. So to go this game and only strike out twice, that was a good sign for the Bishop Garrigan offense, even though they ultimately only ended up posting 5 runs. But it was enough to win, and that is what matters, as the Golden Bears got it done here today at Target Field by a final score of 5-2. Well, once again, regardless of the final score, what an experience of a lifetime. There are 9 players on both sides on the field and numerous players in the dugout who will never forget today, playing at a Major League Baseball diamond, getting to see all the facilities, and ultimately getting this game in when it didn't look like we would at some points. So what an experience that people will remember for the rest of their lives, and just excellent that these guys got to experience something as awesome and as breathtaking as playing at a Major League Baseball diamond. So enjoy it, Golden Bear fans. Enjoy it, players and coaches as well, because opportunities like this really don't come around. So certainly glad that it all came together here today to get done. Well, big thank you as always to our sports club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown Radio KLGA and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream. And of course, our video streaming sponsors, Chem Auto Center, where it's not just about the car, it's about the care. Algona Municipal Utilities, community owned for community benefit. PMC Advantage Insurance Services, where having the advantage makes all the difference. Iowa State Bank, helping people succeed. And Algona Frame and Auto Body, we meet by accident. This has been a sports production of Hometown Radio KLGA and at the Algona Radio YouTube live stream. Once again, your final score, Bishop Garrigan 5 and Clarion-Goldfield-Dows 2.